The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Take advantage of Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's HVAC Black Friday specials and save up to $1,500 on a furnace and AC combo or $1,000 on a new boiler. Check out the hottest deals in town all through November at standardheating.com.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93.
White Castle has begun replacing its fry cooks with robots. But there's one White Castle skill a robot will never master: jumping over the counter to choke a customer.
Hey, did you guys see this? The magician David Copperfield just announced plans to make the moon disappear. That's an amazing trick he calls daytime.
Southwest Airlines has introduced a new feature on its app that lets passengers track their bags. Southwest, why don't you tell us where your bag is? The world's oldest dog ever has died at the age of 31. Aww. And some experts believe it could have lived even longer if I had looked before backing out of the driveway.
It's showtime.
Damn, that dog joke is great.
That got me too.
A buddy of mine did that one, ran over his own dog.
It's awful.
We don't need to get into that. But a buddy
That's
of mine...
no way to start a Thursday.
He once ran over his own dog. You guys know what I'm saying. Good morning to everybody and all of y'all, and welcome to the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show.
Question.
Yes, Josh.
Yes, Josh. Day 2 of November. How's everyone doing for No Nut November? Celebrating? Personally, I'm celebrating.
Gonna have to reset the clock on that one.
Yeah, me too.
Reset the what now?
Reset the clock.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I hadn't thought about it until last night. I bumped into an article talking about that silly No Nut November.
That's what made me think of it. I kind of forgot about it.
I'm not getting involved.
You're not going to do it,
No,
huh?
hell no. No.
You've changed. Before, you used to talk about how easy it was. You were going to retire from sex when you turned 50, I think.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm still all about that. I'm just saying I plan on nutting.
All right, well, in that case, I do as well.
Yeah.
By 7 a.m., my answer will be changed.
You're going to give us a
Whether
guarantee?
or not I have started celebrating or stopped celebrating No Nut November.
I have plans, Josh. I have a schedule to keep, and by damn, I'm going to keep it.
Oh, that's how you know you're married, when you got the schedule going.
Yeah, we got schedules that I have to keep. No, okay, yeah, I hadn't thought about it until last night, and then I forgot all about it all over again. I thought that gimmick had, and I'm not trying to be cute with that, come and gone.
No. People are still celebrating.
Okay.
What exactly is the point or the benefits?
At first, I believe it was to show support for bros who might have picked up some of that nut cancer.
Oh, gotcha.
I think that was the original idea behind it. Am I right about that, Josh?
Are you thinking of Movember?
No, Movember was prostate cancer.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, like kind of along those same lines, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's why I'm wondering if we're confusing the two.
Yeah, I can't quite remember the whole schmear. I do remember a number of years ago we had some kind of a No Nut November contest. I don't remember this or that about it, but it was sort of fun. If you're a No Nut November fan and by damn, this is the month where you become a somebody, get her done. But I'm going to pass.
As I was reading about it yesterday, I had never heard about this before, but next month is Destroy D December. Had you guys heard of Destroy D December before?
No.
Can we just please turn off social media forever? I'm so tired of trying to keep up with this stuff. So what are they saying? That December, you're just supposed to bang until you give way?
Every day.
Every day.
Every day of December. You make up for it.
Like a lot of these gimmicks, it's a younger person's game. Go for it. I won't. I also can promise you, I will not be destroying mine or anybody else's D in December. That could kill a guy my age.
I'm reading more about Destroy D December, and they say to truly win or, can beat the competition or whatever, each day, so on December 1, that's one nut. December 2nd,
No,
that's two nuts.
Don't even start.
No,
Yeah, that's how you die.
Yeah.
You're dead.
Don't even start.
It's not even possible.
It's silly. It's impossible.
It says it would total be 496 nuts in the month of December.
What
oh
am
my
I,
gosh, that is more than a year. No.
Who am I? Kevin Love? Who am I?
Ron Jeremy?
Am I Ron? Am I Peter North? Am I? No.
How did Kevin Love make that list?
I don't know. I don't have an answer for
no
you on that.
offense to Mr. Love.
I was trying to picture a guy who probably gets a lot of tail. And I think I just saw a highlight of him the other night, so I went with Kevin Love. It didn't quite work.
Wolfpack Softball Jesus said his wife has made him start No Nut November since the second week in October.
All right, if you want to keep playing this game, this one is, okay, I don't know if this is internet generated, social media generated, but I was just reading that January is divorce month. That doesn't sound like as much fun as Destroy Your D in December. And I'm sure there are all kinds of other gimmicks in January that the young people on social media claim that they're all in on. And, of course, they're just saying that. But
reading further on, I was wondering, I thought maybe, new year, right? People want to start over, refresh. They start to really evaluate their lives.
Right.
But I guess they also threw the stress of the holidays on there.
Yeah, that was my first thought was, the holidays. That gets to people.
You got sick of arguing and going to 4 different Christmases and Thanksgivings and stuff like that?
You're right. A lot of what you're saying is quite accurate, Josh.
Financial stuff surrounding that.
There you go, the finances, the money. January is divorce month, all right? It'll be here before you know it, divorce month, before you can say Jack Robinson. I wonder how many folks in our listening audience are leaning towards a divorce here lately. You know, how many folks in our listening audience are on their way out the door? You're calling lawyers and such.
Well, I can say personally that the ball started getting rolling for me and my divorce in January.
Did it have anything to do with what Josh was just mentioning or Ashley was just mentioning? The holidays, the money, the stress.
It had more to do with what Josh was saying, where I think we just kind of started having some honest conversations with each other about the future and what we wanted.
Oh, I try to avoid those at all costs.
Yeah, no, and we did for a long time, too, trust me.
Honest conversations about the future. I think, Josh, you're the only person in my entire life where I've ever had an honest conversation.
We just had a couple the other day, didn't we?
We did. I try not to ever have those with significant others. That's how trouble starts.
Mm-hmm.
And you're an example of that.
Yeah.
You'd be a happy guy had you not had an honest conversation about the future with your wife.
Oh, I'm much happier now.
How do you have no nut November when people are coming back from college, around Thanksgiving and stuff like that, and hooking up with people you never got to in high school, that kind of thing?
It's one of those things, Josh, where, like I just said,
that's the sacrifice.
That is the sacrifice. I don't believe as many people are involved as they claim because of that's a great point you just made. If you're a young person, you come home from college, you get back in the bars, in your neighborhood bars with all your old high school classmates. What are you going to say? Yeah, no thanks. I'm involved in No Nut November. No thanks, high school cheerleader from 7 years ago that I wanted my whole life, and you're now offering. No, see, I'm on social media, and I promised that I would no nut in the month of November.
Sorry, Bambi. Yeah, it's No Nut November.
A lot of it is just nonsense. It's just people jaw jacking. It's just a lot of crap.
Back to divorces in January.
Divorces in January.
If you're a longtime listener to the show, you'll get this one from vintage video game collector Jesus. He says, "I bet Chili's does the best business in the month of January." Then
who? Chili's?
Chili's.
I'm sorry, I couldn't understand. Chili's, absolutely.
Quality.
They rake in a lot of money.
Quality, she just said, sounds more like celebrating, not celebrating for No Nut November. And she said, not for us. We're still banging.
We still banging. I don't want to do better. I want to be banging.
One good eye Jesus said on Reddit, there's a subreddit called NoFap. That was part of what I was reading yesterday. And those people, he said, act like they gain superpowers because they don't masturbate. I think I'd start making bad decisions.
Wasn't it May when we tried to go as many times as we could?
Yeah, that's masturbation month.
Yeah.
So much to keep up with, but another good point you just made, Josh. You hang on to that poison too long, that's where you start making bad decisions.
That's big-time trouble.
That's where you start making terrible decisions because that poison affects the brain. It affects our decision-making. It's worse than alcohol.
It's way worse. It's worse than a drug problem.
When you hang on to that stuff too long, you do crazy things.
If me and my boyfriend go a couple days, we notice that we just become not as good of people. We're just meaner to each other.
A couple days.
It can happen.
That's a young person's game.
Yeah.
Right
It can happen, Smashley. It can make you crazy. I didn't check my text messages yet. I asked how many of you maybe were cruising towards a divorce.
I haven't seen anyone text that in.
Well, good.
Oh, here we go. Here, got one. After 17 years, I'm going through a divorce now. Sorry to hear that. Unless that's a great thing for you.
Right. Sometimes you just got to get her done. Here's a miserable thought. There was a time where folks remained miserable and married for their entire lives because they didn't believe in divorce or their religion or some other moral standard stopped them. Nope.
Well, that's still going on.
Yeah,
Definitely. That's still a thing.
Okay, sure, but I don't think it's as common as it was 50 years ago.
Divorce seems more accepted. Not even 50 years ago. I remember
Right.
just in high school, if somebody's parents got divorced, it was now I went to a Catholic school, but it was scandal.
Right. That blows my mind to think that. I mean, some bitches were on their deathbeds, and some of them had to have thought, God, help us! Why didn't I just walk away? You know what I mean?
Yep, absolutely.
There was a time when it was more common than not to say, well, yes, this person that I married is an absolute monster, but I did say I do, so I gotta stick it out. Good Lord. That's not good. I know we some, I can't think of the word, talk negatively about, all we do is get divorced these days. Our divorce rate is so high.
Did you get shamed at all, Dana?
Sometimes you got to do it. You got to get out of there.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some bad situations.
What
Dana,
was the question?
Did I get shamed at all?
Yeah.
No.
Anybody give you any crap at all?
I thought I would. I was kind of nervous about that because I was like, oh, man, divorce. Who's going to want to, hang with the divorce guy or date the divorce guy? But it was actually kind of opposite. I actually had a lot of friends reach out to me saying, they were jealous. Because
oh, really?
Yeah, that they wish, because of kids or like you mentioned, Nick, like religion or money or wise, they said, we're just co-parenting right now at this point. I really wish I could do it, but I can't do it.
Well, yeah, I know a couple people, I guess. It never crossed my mind that I'd be judged in any way, shape, or form because, and I got a divorce, 23 years ago. I can't believe you even had that thought, in 2022. When did you get divorced? A year ago?
2 years ago, 2021.
I can't believe you even had that thought. It never even entered my mind 23 years ago because by then it was becoming more common and more accepted. And, like I was just saying, people understood, if you're unhappy, you're unhappy. If it's a terrible situation, it's a terrible situation. Get out. Go live your life. Don't be trapped just because of this or that or the other thing.
I've certainly heard that from folks who were divorced, who were in some of those complicated situations you mentioned where money is a huge thing, kids and stuff like that. And they said, they talked about, we thought about staying together for the kids and then realized that in their opinion, it just made them unhappy and they just were never happy. So around the kids, kids wouldn't see them happy anymore.
Every situation is different. I do remember, though, on the topic of divorce being taboo in some way with some people, I remember this was the early 90s. And I was at a bar with some guy friends and some gal friends. And I think even by the early 90s, that grip on marriage had started to loosen quite a bit, where it was, like I just got done saying, it was more accepted and more okay to just get a divorce, go on with your life. So this was the early 90s. And a gal friend of mine was talking to another gal about a guy she recently started dating. And the gal says, well, is he a nice guy? And the other gal says, yeah, he's a very nice guy. He's got a good job. And then kind of under her breath, she says, as if she didn't want anyone else in the bar to hear it, under her breath, she says, he does come from a divorced family, but he's okay. And I was kind of eavesdropping, but I knew these two gals well enough to step in, and I said, what the hell does that mean? He comes
That's an odd statement.
Yeah, he comes from a divorced family, but, he's okay and everything. As if people who come from divorced families are running around the streets nude, covered in feces, screaming, ah! What?
Yeah, you can't really use that as a defense in court. I think people can say, okay, you come from a divorced family? I don't understand. Why is that such a big deal?
That struck me as so odd. And I said, do you really deep down think that, children of divorced families are just wild? Well, she came from a more conservative family, so that was the thought that she had.
Fun Size Jesus said her parents got divorced when she was in college, and her mom gets remarried. Her sister, the mother's sister and family, they're a different religion apparently, didn't go to the wedding because they didn't support the divorce.
That's so messed up.
That is.
So I didn't go to a friend's third wedding, and it was out of town. They made it difficult, basically, probably on purpose. I didn't go to the third wedding because I'm like, I can't afford another wedding for you. Mm-hmm. I can't afford to rent the tux. I can't afford to buy all the gifts. I can't afford to fly out over this place. It's ridiculous.
But
you got two. That's all I can give you.
Definitely.
That's fair. That's silly.
Yeah.
I do think it's kind of silly when folks are getting married for the third, fourth, fifth time and they're still having some kind of a big scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like the venue and the white dress and everything. Yeah.
And they're saying the same things at the, let's say it's a religious thing, at the altar. I don't know what you call a non-religious wedding. When the vows are made, that's where I'm going. When they're exchanging vows or whatever, they're saying the same things they said to their prior 3 or 4. You know what I'm saying? It's like, wait a minute, I was here for the last time you said this, you didn't mean it.
Am I getting deja vu?
They just copy and pasted the name.
I mean, you guys know that Janelle Klein and I recently got married, and
wait, she didn't say that.
And oh Jesus,
does she know?
She doesn't know. I recently got married, and people were kind of up our behinds, me and the new wife. What are you going to do? Are you going to have a big party, have a big ceremony? And we very quickly said no. And there were some people who got it, and some said, well, why? What do you mean no? And I said, we're a combined age of 103 years old. We're both on our second marriages. Who cares? We'll just go do it, and that'll be the end of that.
You talked me into it. I'm getting a divorce.
Oh, hell yeah, Josh.
Congratulations.
Team divorce.
Divorce month in January. Okay, let's recap. Now we're in No Nut November.
I'm the only one apparently that cares.
Some of us don't respect tradition anymore.
No.
I don't care about that. December is Tear Your D in Half December. What is it again?
Close. No. Destroy Your D December.
Just bang, bang, bang. Just have as much sex as possible. End up in the emergency room, and then in January we get to Divorce Month. All right, cool. Now we know what we're up against.
Between No Nut November and the Destroy D December, there's no way I could do Destroy D December. Again, if you missed that part, whatever the date is, you destroy your D that many times. You begin on the 1st, you go through the 31st. So by the 31st, on Christmas, Jesus' birthday, you're going to masturbate or have sex 25 times?
You're just hooked up to an IV, just getting as many fluids as possible.
You're not going to have time to go to church or open presents.
That's absolutely silly, ridiculous, unnecessary, and almost impossible. And you know it. Don't argue with me on that. But reading more here about Divorce Month in January, Josh, you mentioned money, holiday stress, and all of that. Apparently is why folks either get divorced or start making phone calls on how to get a divorce come January. Money, stress, the holidays, all that stuff. This one was interesting to me. Besides the money, divorce lawyers encourage couples to have conversations about the extended family around the holidays and talk about any boundaries that need to be set in that regard. Now, what that says to me is you're turning to your wife or your husband and saying, hey, look, I hate your parents, and I don't want to see them at Christmas.
Or, yeah, your Uncle Steve is weird. That kind of thing.
Yep.
If there is one thing about the holidays that's always kind of aggravated me, it's, having to have those multiple events.
Yeah, that's the worst.
It's tough. It's tough. You just get burned out.
Yeah, when you're running around town on Christmas Day and stuff, trying to hit up, a couple different spots, and it's just exhausting.
I mean, I've done the right thing, and I've avoided that over the last number of years, but
I can't wait until I'm like my parents' age because everybody just goes to them. Like, I want people to just come to me, come to my house, and then leave.
You could still host it. Offer to host it. I bet your parents would be stoked if you
no,
hosted.
that was already decided. I will be hosting one of the Thanksgivings. But no, my mom always gets Christmas. That's her holiday.
You're too young to make those kind of demands.
Yep.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
You got to go to the old folks. And
Exactly.
and in my opinion, that's the right way to go about it.
Yeah.
And once you hit 50, 55, then you can say, I ain't going anywhere. Because everyone else is dead. When you're 25, 6, you're screwed. Because you are expected to travel because you're the young one.
Yep.
Grandpa, you're not asking Grandpa to drive to your place. He's got a bad knee. You're not asking Grandma to get on an airplane to come see you. She's got an oxygen tank, So you're screwed for a while, unfortunately. Oh, here was another. Yeah, maybe you mentioned this, Josh. I'm getting some texts on this on what changes maybe. Some things change in January that leads people to start thinking, you know what, maybe I need to get out of this marriage. Maybe I need to get out of this relationship. I hadn't heard this before, but it's being texted to me. New year, new me. People take that approach to life.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier.
Yeah.
It's you reevaluate things.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Decide, all right, I'm going to start over and change some things about me I don't like, and then by mid-January you kind of give up on that effort.
Yeah.
So that's a little too difficult.
There you go. We are due a visit from television star Janelle Klein this morning. She'll pop in later.
Dana, ask her about No Nut November if she's participating.
I'll bring it up.
Please do.
Mm-hmm.
She'll be smelling like booze.
Usually does, yeah.
Booze and bad late-night decisions. That intervention is coming sooner than later, I would imagine.
She really does smell really good when she comes in here, though.
Oh,
She
yeah.
makes the whole studio smell
Like Jack
like
Daniels.
flowers and...
It's no fun to watch someone go down the tubes like that. And like I said, we just got married.
That must be why.
Maybe.
You're saying that's ruined her?
I've been drinking more too.
You'll get through this.
There you go. Hey, the Texas Rangers won the World Series last night. That looked fun, right?
How about that? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Good for them.
They seem to be having a good time.
Are we still rooting for the Twins?
Yeah.
I think so.
That's my plan, at least.
I mean, the general consensus is that the Twins pushed our bro Dick Bramer to an early retirement from broadcasting. So are we still rooting for the Twins?
Well, once that's confirmed, it might be a little different. But I was wondering, and people have texted in saying, is that a Twins thing or a Bally Sports North thing?
Yeah.
Where does that
It's a Twins
originate
thing.
from? It's a Twins thing? You have some inside info?
Yeah, it's a Twins thing.
Can you share more? Or?
Well, I just know that for a fact that it's a Twins. He's employed by the team.
Okay, don't cancel me. I was just curious. This is curiosity asking. I was just wondering how somebody might know that.
Everybody hang on to something.
It's okay.
Hang on.
Dude, you gotta stop celebrating No Nut November. You're coming off cranky pretty easy.
You need to build up.
So you're saying it's definitely 100% a Twins thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, there you go. Well, the reason I bring up the Rangers and the Twins, and if we're still rooting for the Twins, and you should know that just last season the Rangers lost 94 ball games, and now they're the champs. So you never know, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's. There were a couple articles published yesterday saying this should be inspirational to baseball fans everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, and even Arizona, they were terrible in the beginning. And then
Arizona, they made it all the way to the final Wapple.
Yeah. And what's crazy is I was just looking around my house, and I had the first pitch baseball. That was against Arizona that I threw that out.
Yeah, did you think you
that's
inspired
pretty
them?
cool.
Yeah, I totally did.
Wait, are you taking credit for their run? I love that.
Totally. That's when they turned it around. Was when I threw out the first pitch.
It's really bizarre where you took this, but
They took one look at you and said, "Hey guys, we got to win it all because if we drop out and we were out of the game, we're gonna have to go work jobs like that Muppet."
Wait a minute. What date was that?
August.
So it was
something?
August.
Yeah.
Well, in April, I drank an Arizona iced tea. So I'm the guy, bitch.
Yeah, it was totally you.
it was on day one of spring training
That's right.
for the Diamondbacks that Josh enjoyed a 16-ounce Arizona iced
All
tea.
right, sorry. I
And
thought it
he
was me.
said to himself, that Torey Lavello, he might have what it takes. That's the manager of the Diamondbacks, if nobody.
We got a funny clip from him.
Oh, he said something very sad after the game. Is that right?
He was being funny. Yeah,
okay.
yeah, but
But it still got to me. I was like, oh, bro, do you want a hug?
because you could tell there's probably 30% of him that meant that.
Yeah.
But it was meant to be. I think it was meant to be funny. Don't you, Wap?
Oh, yeah, but I was like, oh, dude, you just need a hug. He was like wiping away tears, too. Oh.
Yeah, that was a hell of a deal. All right, we better get moving. She's Thursday. Jungle Jane's on her way in. She's wrapping up her drinking at some late night establishment, I imagine, and she'll be in later. Randy Shaver and this and that. We'll be right back on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Did you know that Standard Heating has over 700 years of combined experience in the heating business? Now that's a lot of brain power. Hi, Corey here. As the call center manager at Standard, I'm proud to be able to work for a company that provides top solutions and experiences for our customers. Ashley, tell us more.
Take advantage of Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's HVAC Black Friday specials and save up to $1,500 on a furnace and AC combo or $1,000 on a new boiler. Check out the hottest deals in town all through November at standardheating.com.
The football season is underway, and Believe podcasts are talking about it.
When he went home and went to sleep, Michael Parsons was terrorizing him.
Believe has podcasts covering all 32 professional teams and many of your favorite college teams, too.
And to be only producing 15 points a game, that's something that is definitely disheartening.
Sideline to sideline, end zone to end zone.
As a quarterback, I would expect him to be acting like that. Take the accountability. Put that on yourself. Don't put it on your teammates.
Search BLEAV podcasts wherever you listen.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
I wasn't quite ready for that, but I can adapt on the fly. Here we go with the stupid news in just a minute. But before we get there, we were having a conversation earlier about, okay, let's see if we can, let's see if I can get this correct in order. It's November now. A lot of folks like to go with no nut. Well, a lot of folks like to claim that they participate in No Nut November. You don't have an orgasm at all throughout the month of November, okay? December, Josh let us in on this, or at least let me in on this. I wasn't aware of this. In December, the gimmick is, now I forgot, Share Your Privates with a Group of Strangers month. What is
Destroy D December.
Destroy D December. You have as much sex as possible until you drop dead. January is divorce month, amongst other things. I'm sure folks are texting in all the gimmicky things that are connected to months, and someone's probably saying, no, January is a steak and BJ month or something, or 420, I don't know. There's so many of these going on, but
420.
we were reading about January being divorce month. A lot of couples split up. I got a couple of interesting texts on the topic. This sounds like a good way to get shot. One listener says, my girlfriend is getting divorced from her husband right now.
All right.
Another says, I'm trying to convince my girlfriend to get a divorce right now. That's how guys get shot at, right there. Stupid news. Here we go. The headline for this here very first stupid news story is, this must be the dumbest reason someone has ever started a high-speed chase. And I can't argue that. This is just that dumb, I believe, in Lincoln, Nebraska. On Halloween, a couple days ago, during the day on Halloween, a woman led police on a high-speed chase after stealing a Halloween costume from Walmart. What the hell is wrong with you?
Man, Walmart gets picked on.
Yeah, they do. Mm-hmm. They do, and I love that friggin' place.
I do too.
I've been to a couple of them, three of them, and I've enjoyed every damn one of them. My favorite being in Hayward, Wisconsin. I don't know why, just the vibe there is above and beyond any other Walmart. Not that I've had a bad, I loved them all, but the one in Hayward, for whatever reason, I could hang out there for hours.
The best thing about Walmarts is they usually have a Subway in them, and I love that.
I do enjoy that. Like Kmart used to have subs. It wasn't a Subway, but you get some good subs at Kmart.
I always remember Little Caesars in Kmart's.
Whoa!
Oh, we didn't have a Little Caesars.
Yeah, see, Josh and I are from a generation.
Northtown.
Josh and I are from a generation when they didn't have those high-powered mashups between the department store, say Target, and the fast food joint, say Pizza Hut, or Walmart, and what did you just say, Subway. Josh and I used to go to the Kmart or Woolworths or something like that, and they'd just be making their own sandwiches, on their own. They'd have cows out back, for the hamburgers. They'd have pigs out back for the ham sandwiches, right, Josh?
Yeah, and it was always like, it seemed women in their 70s that were working at those counters.
Back there whipping up a homemade sandwich for you.
Your grandma would go there. Your grandma would go there.
That's who we would always go with.
And they'd say, well, I mean, your grandma would go there to get a job. And they'd say, well, you're too old to walk around and check price tags on clothes. Why don't you make up some bologna sandwiches here in the back? And that was the gimmick.
When I was a kid, my grandma was the one who would take us. I only went to Kmart with my grandma. She loved going there. And I'll tell you what, when that blue light special went off, old ladies were knocking each other's over. They'd run over to the little cop light that was this blue cop light. It would just start flashing, and then you knew, there's a sale in whatever aisle that is.
That's so funny.
It was madness. But, yeah, Josh and I used to go to the department store before these big conglomerates. Is that the word? Where I don't know. You know what I mean. Before they had marquee food, they just had their own. So here's this gal. She steals a Halloween. What do you suppose that Walmart Halloween costume went for? $20?
If that.
Mm-hmm. And she sounds like a stupid person, if we're just going by names. She goes by the name of Sapphire Utley. She was caught shoplifting at the neighborhood Walmart, but she runs on out of there, and then she tears ass out of the parking lot in her little Dodge Avenger, like she just pulled a heist on an armored car. And the cops have to chase her down, endangering lives all over town. Like Jake and Elwood Blues trying to get themselves to the Cook County Assessor's office in time to save the Catholic orphanage that they were raised in after playing a gig at the Palace Hotel Ballroom. The police found Sapphire. They arrested her. And there's two of these idiots. The cops are also looking for another woman's by the name of Jordana Nelson, who they also think stole from a Walmart. Good Lord. Shoplifting Halloween costumes. What are we in, 7th grade?
You just got to put the costume on, and then the cops will have no idea where you went. Yeah. Well, she was here, but now all I see is a ghost.
It was I can never come up with the name, the little yellow characters. It was a...
Minion?
Minion?
Minion, that's the one. Thank you.
A Simpson.
That could have been. Uh-oh. Let me set the scene for you here with this next story. A pile of hot mamas in Australia crushing drinks at a house party. But the party got too loud. Someone called the cops on them. A cop showed up to the house party to shut it smooth down.
Oh, no.
Go ahead, Wapple. Finish the headline. Finish the beginning of the story.
They thought he was a stripper.
And the cop was never seen again. That's right.
That would never happen to any one of us,
Nope.
unfortunately. Well, maybe you, Ashley.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Girls like it when you say, you look like a stripper.
Yeah, usually.
That's right, Wapple. All the ladies thought he was a stripper.
Finally.
TikTok. How do you call it again?
TikTok.
TikTok has this all on video. In the video, as soon as John Law walks through the door, the ladies rush up on his ass, expecting him to, strip off his uniform and start dumping lap dances on the ladies. He is a handsome young fella.
Oh, yeah.
He understands, at least it appears to me, he understands pretty quickly what's going on, and he has kind of a sly-ass smile on his face as all the ladies are hollering at him and pointing their cell phones at him. One lady's even chanting, "Stripper! Stripper!" As soon as he walks in, Jesus.
We've been in that situation here where a legitimate cop showed up and everyone thought she was a stripper. She was absolutely gorgeous. I thought she was going to do like a bit on our sister station KQ or something.
Oh, sure.
And so everyone's like, did you see the stripper cop up front? So I already had it in my head. Everyone said it was a stripper, but no, it was a legitimate police officer.
That's so funny.
I think that was the first time, Josh, that I'd ever looked into your eyes and saw that you were in love. You were.
She was something else. And I love it how, cops are with their brother and sisterhood. Everyone, when we brought it up, saying, it was kind of embarrassing for us. And luckily, none of us said anything to her.
Oh,
God. What club do you work in? Nobody said anything. And it's funny, like people from different departments were like, I know exactly who you're talking about, badge number, so-and-so. They knew. Everybody knew who we were talking about. She was something.
Yeah, she was. Oh, when this cop walked in and they all thought he was a male entertainer is how you say it. A couple of the gals started to twerk on him. And apparently, according to someone at the party, the poor bastard just left.
I mean, he probably didn't want to get in trouble, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the people are filming this, and
he was either too overwhelmed or too annoyed. He just said, F this. He left.
Or maybe close to making a bad decision.
Yeah.
Man.
Never been twerked on. Not once.
Really?
Christmas is coming.
Wait a minute now.
Everybody
said that as if it was an odd thing.
Everybody's been twerked on at this point, Josh.
I've never been twerked
Even
on.
I've been
I'm
twerked
sorry.
on.
On purpose?
Yeah.
Who twerked on you?
A couple girls from my girlfriend's softball team. They twerk all the time.
Do they need a coach?
Bat boy?
Yeah, right. You guys have all been twerked on.
Yeah.
I suck.
You got to be the only guy over the age of 8 that hasn't been twerked on. It's not that big of a friggin' deal, to be totally honest with you, Josh. Don't feel like, you're missing out on anything.
Well, I didn't until everyone's like, really? Like, acted as shocked as if I said I've never seen a cow before or something.
You have seen a cow, though, right?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Tried to get one to twerk on me. Well, now I got to get twerked on.
Yep.
Who's volunteering?
I'll come in there.
All right, let's do it.
Dude, again, don't worry about it. You've got things over other people. I know this for a fact from when we were younger. You got an HJ in an Arby's parking lot.
Heck yeah.
Dude.
On Mondays, you have leftover enchiladas.
Who cares about twerking?
And Tuesdays, buddy. Yeah.
Big living.
She makes a That's medium pimping right there.
Totally.
Yeah, my wife is nice enough to make me some enchiladas that last me a couple days.
Yeah, I've even known a few women over the years, Josh, that can make it clap.
I've seen that online.
But who cares? It's not a big deal. You've done some things, too. I don't want you to be walking away this morning feeling all bad about yourself.
How cool were those Russian twerk teams? That was amazing a couple of years ago.
I don't think I remember that.
That stuff changed my life.
It did. There was seismic activity after those videos landed online.
I thought Nick's heart was going to give away a couple times.
Every once in a while, I still dial those ladies up on YouTube. Let me tell you something right now. If you don't know about the Russian twerk team, there's not a lot of positive things I'll ever say about Russia, but it's absolutely incredible. It's probably my favorite non-nude video I've ever watched in my life.
It's so erotic and confusing. I mean, you have to really take it in. Watch it a couple times.
Thank you for bringing that back up, or what's your name, Wapple. Although I do watch the videos now and again, I haven't thought to say their name out loud in a long time.
I just pulled the video for the first time. I might go to the other studio.
You've never seen this?
No.
Really? Oh, I just pulled a. You've never seen. I didn't even mean to.
That make you feel a little bit better?
I did actually.
Yeah, good.
I win. Got a text here saying, "I'll twerk on you twice." That's from "I'll try anything twice, Jesus."
Yeah, it's kind of old hat now. Okay.
Thanks to people who are saying there are also twerk versions. It's not virgins. Excuse me. It's not just me.
Let's talk some public filth.
Oh, wait. I wonder if Janelle Klein's ever been twerked on.
I'm
maybe
sure she
she's
has.
gone to a strip. I've never, even at a strip. I guess I don't remember the last time I
I'd
got
be
a
willing
lap
to bet
dance.
you $10, Wapple. The answer is no. And even if the answer is yes, she wouldn't say so.
She'd never.
I don't know. She
ever
has
say.
friends. That's what girls do. You dance with each other.
Ashley, Janelle doesn't have any friends. She doesn't. You're right. If you have friends, girlfriends, that's an activity. Janelle does not have any friends.
Wapple, are you reading the text from Steel Holler Jesus? Is that what got you? That's what got me.
No, I was laughed at Nick's statement. Janelle has no friends.
She doesn't.
No friends. Absolutely none.
It seems like she doesn't. We've mentioned before, she's an alien.
Yeah, she doesn't have any.
For as likable of a person as she is. Steel Holler Jesus. Now, this is a mean joke, but this is all in good fun. Hey, if you want a cow to twerk on you, I'll lend you my wife.
God, help us.
Oh, bro.
It's in good fun. It's just a joke.
All it is a... All right, in Colombia. Oh, no. In Colombia. A guy and a gal decided to get at the F on in the ocean right in front of people.
See, that's what happens...
When bodies start slapping?
If you participate in like a No Nut November, we mentioned this before, you make bad decisions.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. That could have had something to do with it, holding off for too long.
Yeah.
The desperation sets in.
A guy and a gal, right there in the ocean, broad daylight, right in front of everybody. I mean, I saw the video. You can't see their bodies below their shoulders because they're underwaters, but it was pretty obvious what they were doing.
The motion in the ocean.
And folks who were there were pissed. They are pissed because there were young kids right there swimming around, right in the same general area where this guy and gal were bumping back and forth, trying to make some young kids to start swimming around, if you know what I mean by damn. You know, a buddy of mine did the same thing at Big Island on Lake Minnetonka when we were young guys, and it was damn disgusting. The look on his face was disturbing.
We've mentioned that before. If you go to a strip club with certain people, they get that serial killer lustful look. Mm-hmm. Oh, that'll ruin it.
This got to be over 25 years ago, but, you know, we're partying at Big Island, Lake Minnetonka, that whole scene, and one of my buddies gets into the water, so he's up to about his nipples in the water, and he's jaw-jacking with some gal, and next thing you know, she kind of climbs up on top of him. You know, almost like, you know, how you might hold your lady up.
Yeah, backwards piggyback ride.
Exactly. And we thought, oh, these two are getting friendly pretty quickly. And then before too long, they start to do kind of a up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down. I dropped a no-wake buoy right next to them because they started to create quite a... And it was just disgusting. The look on his face, I'll never forget.
Dude, in a lake. That's nasty.
Well, yeah, but they were 20. Give me... Wait a minute.
That's how you catch a disease.
Okay, Ashley, think about what you are saying right now.
I had gonorrhea.
Yeah, you had sex on the floor of a public bathroom at the state fair.
That's true, but like water gets places.
Okay.
I don't know.
Think
That's
about
not
what...
good for stuff to be up there for women like that.
Okay. It's kind of like me saying, hey, what are you doing with that chewing tobacco? Don't you know what that can do to you? Do you not understand where you're... Okay. Somehow she wants to create a natural body of water versus the floor of a state fair bathroom argument here. Which is more clean? All right, what happened now? Locals are outraged by this couple banging in the ocean in front of everybody. Someone in the comments portion of this here story said, why didn't anyone report them? It's a shame they didn't beat them up for being disrespectful.
Well, I don't know they got to beat them up.
Well, getting your ass kicked while having sex, that'd be one of the worst times to get your ass kicked.
Depends who you ask.
I suppose,
some people are into that.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point.
Another person said about this couple banging in the ocean in front of kids and such, there is no longer respect or discretion. These are reprehensible actions. A third local said, get some. Now, here's a deep and interesting way to look at the situation. One final commenter said, this person is in support of this ocean-banging couple broad daylight in front of families. One person said, and I think they're speaking of the internet or just media in general, you know, they always show us images of wars. Why not also love? The world needs more love and less war.
Man, I feel like I'm reading lyrics to a Beatles song or something. They have a point.
By the way, a few people are texting in also, enjoying their first experience with the Russian twerk team on YouTube.
I'm happy for them.
That's great when you can find new passions.
Yeah, and they're enjoying the hell out of it.
I'm a changed man. I want them to go on tour.
Boy, I never considered something like that.
That'd be awesome.
Now, people try and smuggle the most bizarre and disgusting things through airport security, don't they?
They do.
Bugs and monkeys and snakes and this and that.
Yeah, I mean, the drugs and stuff, that's boring now with all the weird things people.
It's funny, Josh, I didn't even think about drugs. It is boring compared to what? Back years ago, yeah, it used to be all drugs. And that's still there, but now they're really getting creative with what they want to smuggle through the airport. In this case, it was a seaport, if that makes any difference to you. Let's see if I can get this correct. This went down in Argentina. Somebody was caught by security smuggling 5 liters of dog semen. And I've been around some dog semen in my day, but never 5 liters.
Thankfully, never been around it.
I've been around it a lot in my lifetime. Don't even ask me about it. It's a touchy situation. But not 5 liters.
Boy, I'd love to hear stories about that.
No, I'm not telling you any of the stories.
5 liters.
Do you have like a sperm shepherd, or how do you around so many ejaculating dogs?
I bet Ashley's stuffed animal that her dog humps has probably got a couple liters in it.
Oh, I forgot about that. Did you clean that thing yet?
No.
Ashley's what?
What is wrong with you?
I keep forgetting.
What kind
I
of
don't want to
stuff-
put it in my wash machine. I think I'll just throw it away.
What kind of stuffed animal is it again?
It's a large sloth.
Sloth.
That your male dog has been having sex and finishing on.
Yep.
Sex with, finishing on.
Oh, right, I remember.
And you
that.
have not cleaned it.
Yeah. I'm no stranger to dog semen, but 5 liters is a lot.
I imagine that takes a while to acquire, too.
Okay, I'll go along with it. I don't know. This clown was somewheres in Argentina. He was coming from somewheres else. During a routine scan, customs agents detected a suspicious package in one of the 2 backpacks this dude was carrying. They asked him about it, and he said, quote, I am not carrying anything. I have nothing to declare, gentlemen, which is a dead giveaway.
That's true.
Just shut up, you know. But he couldn't. They discovered a large thermal container with a white substance inside.
Yeah.
And that's when the guy confessed he was transporting 5 liters of canine semen. And that's against the rules.
It's good to know.
You have to be some kind of veterinarian official this or official that to be carrying kegs of dog semen around town. It says here in the story that frozen dog spuzz, that's what it was, frozen, is typically used for breeding purposes or, as they say here, as a snack during a long boat ride. I don't. A few months ago at the same checkpoint, by God, some other mental case was trying to haul around 60 bags of pig splooge. 60 bags.
Bags of it.
Smuggling is different now. It's not what it used to be. Josh, I knew a girl years ago who was always smuggling raisins.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I always liked that saying.
Doesn't matter where or when. She was smuggling raisins.
It was just last week we were talking about all that stolen bull semen. Semen's pretty popular right now. Or they stole a couple of cryogenic tanks of bull semen.
Mm-hmm. I think I confused the young people with that raisins. Yeah, okay.
You did, yeah.
That's
Yep,
okay.
yep.
That's okay. Sometimes I like when some of you don't get it.
You've never heard
That's
of smuggling
part of the fun.
raisins?
No.
It's part of the fun. Don't tell them anything. All right. Speaking of semen, here's something for you fellas who are keeping track of your sperm count. I tried to count my sperm, but I always lose my spot along the way. I get frustrated.
There's a lot.
Start over.
17,586,031.
Even when you're
17,586,032. 17,586,033. But I finally I just throw the sock into the laundry. I give up.
Yuck.
See, Ashley, you can throw a semen-stained item in the laundry. Have you learned nothing?
No, I won't be able to wash my clothes in there ever again.
17,586,033.
You already did that one.
Yeah, I got stuck. That's where I lose my spot.
Hey, are you going backwards? You're going the other way.
Maybe you guys knew this already. A new report says that using your cellular telephone too much could impact sperm count, and that's not good.
Yeah, I've heard that, like if you keep it in your pocket, that's a bad idea.
Oh,
Yeah, or like put your laptop on your lap.
Okay.
None of that technology in the front area there.
I've heard the laptop thing many times. I don't
Yeah.
know if I've ever heard the... men between the ages of 18 and 22 who use their phones more than 20 times a day had a 21% higher risk of a low sperm count. The men in the study also had a 30% higher risk for a low sperm concentration. My sperm don't concentrate much at all. My sperm have OCD. Men who use their phones less than once a week have less of a problem, okay? So yay for them. I don't know what this means, but it says...
Who uses their phone less than once a week?
Yeah, that's weird. That's so insane.
You know, maybe if work didn't require some of that, it would be helpful, but...
Yeah, that seems weird.
Well, you know, the old folks, I guess, but they're not too worried about boners anymore. What does this say? It doesn't matter what you do. Your phone, I guess, will not affect the shape of the sperm or how they move. That's gross. I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, the study was men between 18 and 22, and I'm trying to think of an 18 and 22-year-old who doesn't use their phone any more than once a day.
Yeah.
Right?
Can't think of anybody. Nope.
Researchers say sperm count has fallen more than 50% globally in the last 50 years. Well, I think that's good news. There's too many of us as it is. Go ahead, sperm count. Fall. Don't care. There's too many of us as it is. All right, we got to get through this one. Who here has heard of or maybe possibly participated? Oh, it just didn't even dawn on me. This didn't even dawn on me. We've been talking a lot this morning about these little gimmicky monthly activities. No Nut November, Bang Your Brains Out December, Drink Yourself Sideways January, F Your Best Friend's Wife February. We've been talking up and down. It didn't even dawn on me that I had this in front of me. It's over now, but who here has heard of or maybe possibly participated in something called Locktober?
Locktober.
Have not participated. I would never participate, but I'm familiar with Locktober.
You are?
Yeah.
You should. Why didn't you tell me about Locktober?
I did. I sent you the article on Locktober, I believe.
Oh, you mean you found out about it yesterday?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. According to this year's story, it's over now, but according to this, a lot of fellas got themselves involved in Locktober. I've never heard of it. I think you probably need to be all over social media to have heard of this. Like most things these days, you need to be on social. Here we go, Locktober, where dudes lock their gear up in a chastity cage for the whole month.
Oh, boy.
And it also sounds as if they pay someone to lock their Frankenbeans up for them.
That sounds miserable.
Yeah, that doesn't sound fun at all.
You have to pay someone to lock your own wiener up.
No, you don't have to. I think
that seems like that's part of it, you know.
It's part of the... you'll understand in a minute here, Wapple. For 31 days, your penis and nuts are encased in what looks like a medieval torture device. It's all part of a domination and degradation type of a bit. The cage stays locked 24/7. You're unable to conjure up any boners. And, of course, there's no banging and no chance to pull one loose either. There is a hole in their summers for taking a squeege.
I was just about to ask that.
Now, from what I understand, bros who want to play this ridiculous game pay a woman, a dominatrix type, to hold the key to your dong trap. So that's the gimmick.
Did you look at the photos of what these things look like?
No, I did not.
Oh, boy, no thank you.
Yeah.
Is it rather confining?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it smaller than you would hope it to be?
I mean, it's shorter than I would have expected, which I appreciate.
Because if you're going to lock my D and balls up, I at least would hope that they have some room to breathe.
It's not enough, I don't think.
No.
Okay, I'm looking at one right now, and no, that's not roomy.
Are you able to, based on what it looks like, would you even be able to, like, be out in the public?
Well, yeah, you put it inside your pants. I don't know why I said that like 1989 Andrew Dice Clay, but it seemed like a fun idea. Yeah, you can put your pants on over the top of them. Okay. So that's the gimmick. She's in total control of your goods. You've been such a bad boy, and you could use a good beating in the whole domination routine. And the story goes on to talk about an OnlyFans type lady who held the key for some dudes who jumped in on this Locktober misery. These dudes paid her to be the boss of their penis for 31 days, and you know the routine with the OnlyFans thing. She's so hot and she's so rich and men can't resist her, and she used to work a day job, but she doesn't need any more because she's so rich, and on and on. So now you know, Locktober, bruh. All the coolest dudes are doing Locktober.
I found a whole Reddit thread on people looking for key holders for Locktober.
I'll hold a key for someone.
Most of them
That's
are
a lot of
requesting a
responsibility.
female, Dana.
Yeah, I figured as much.
Why am I thinking Ghostbusters right now?
Yeah, I was too. The gatekeeper.
Are you the gatekeeper? Are you the key master?
Key holder or whatever it was?
The story also says, okay, and here we go. I can't believe I completely forgot I had this all in front of me. It plays perfectly into what we've been talking about this morning. If you are truly insane, you go straight from Locktober with your gear all tied up in this metal cage, you move right over to No Nut November, where you're not allowed to ejaculate.
I don't want to be around any man that hasn't done that in 2 months.
I do, so I can tease him. Take him to Rick's Cabaret.
Hooters.
Take him to see Wapple's sisters and whatnot. Just torture the hell out of them.
I don't know if they want their Jesus names out there or not, but there's a couple folks texting in saying that they enjoy the locking up the wiener.
Well, some folks are into that whole, like I said, some folks are into that whole, you're the boss, give me a beating. Look at my little pee-pee. I know it's no good for you, but you deal with it anyway. Punish me, smack me in the mouth, call me a slut.
Boy, there's a lot of people who have been involved in this. I'm surprised.
Please don't make fun of my little pee-pee.
Well, I think some people enjoy that.
Yeah.
Shame my pee-pee.
They do. Yeah, they want it shamed. Absolutely. Not my game, but let her buck if that's your thing.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
It's happened! The Texas Rangers win the World Series!
Celebrates like this, and this is a special moment.
63 years is a long time to wait, but the Texas Rangers are World Series champions.
Sounds like the commissioner of baseball there, Rob Manfred, needs to put down the meth pipe. His voice was so dry. His voice was so.
Was he screaming or was he?
People online,
maybe.
people on social media said the dude sounded like he just got bombed the night before on Halloween.
Yeah, I bet.
His voice was garbage by the time he was handing out that trophy. Yeah, the Texas Rangers took out the Arizona Diamondbacks in 5 games last night. They've won their very first World Series title. Good for them. What the hell was the final last night? I forgot to write it down. 5-0.
Nothing.
I think that's right. 5-0. 5-0. They got some late runs. I mean, hell, the starter for Arizona had a perfect game going through 6 innings. And we can get into this later, but here's the thing with the Texas Rangers. Everybody knew their lineup could club the living hell out of the baseball. But I think the question for that club going into the playoffs is, can their pitching sustain, specifically their bullpen, was a trash can for a lot of the season. Their bullpen just wasn't good. That was their Achilles heel. But look at what they accomplished here, especially in the last few games. They shut down the Diamondbacks. Corey Seager's your MVP. Again, we'll get into more detail later. Yes, Cubby.
Earlier we referenced the Diamondbacks manager and what he had to say after the game.
The reason why it hurts so bad is because we care so much. We care about this baseball community. We care about the fans of Arizona. I want to run away and hide for a few days. I want to go camping and just sit in the tent and suck my thumb and eat ice cream. Is that the weirdest answer you guys have ever had right there?
You were right. There is some truth behind that. Poor guy.
30% of that was truth, but he was trying to be funny, obviously.
There's a guy's got a sense of humor. Yeah. But I see what he means. You just want to lay down and touch yourself for a day or two.
Take a nap or something.
Hey, the Timberwolves beat the defending champions quite handily last night, just as I predicted they would.
Yes, you did.
Brad Ryder, if you're listening, go ahead and suck it, pal. Because that's what this team is about. They look like garbage one night, then they come out and beat the best team in the friggin' league. The Pigs are at home tonight. Bobby Knight is dead. We've got plenty of things to cover when Randy Shaver and Janelle Klein show up here in a half hour. We'll be right back with Josh's news.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Did you know that Standard Heating has over 700 years of combined experience in the heating business? Now that's a lot of brain power. Hi, Corey here. As the call center manager at Standard, I'm proud to be able to work for a company that provides top solutions and experiences for our customers. Ashley, tell us more.
Take advantage of Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's HVAC Black Friday specials and save up to $1,500 on a furnace and AC combo or $1,000 on a new boiler. Check out the hottest deals in town all through November at standardheating.com.
For decades, Rolling Stone has set the bar for entertainment publications. Today, Rolling Stone Music Now takes over in podcast form.
We have Michael Azerrad, who was Nirvana's very first biographer. I'm not sure how many people realize how many of the best songs on In Utero were written way beforehand.
To be fair to Kurt, he was also a new father. There was a lot of stuff distracting him. It wasn't just drugs, although that was certainly a major factor.
Rolling Stone Music Now, wherever you listen.
Half-assed morning show. 93X.
Everybody was in a costume. It was such a great night up until that point. I'm sure this whole street in particular now is going to just feel a little bit of sting from this.
North Carolina authorities arrested a man Tuesday for pointing a gun at kids trick-or-treating in their neighborhood.
That's how you do it.
Police responded at approximately 7:15 p.m. to a report of a 43-year-old named Daniel Graham pointing a gun at trick-or-treaters. His house was decorated for Halloween, even with flashing lights and music playing, so it seemed like he was trick-or-treater friendly, but apparently he was not. He's also accused of smacking a basket of candy right out of a child's hand.
Oh, now that part sounds fun, though.
Witnesses said Graham appeared intoxicated, and later police confirmed that appearance.
Oh, we're surrounded by maniacs, Cubby.
A Florida man was arrested on Halloween for using his coworker's credit card to buy items, including a pumpkin that he carved and put out in front of his house, which police did seize as evidence. Deputies discovered 39-year-old Edward Atwood used his coworker's credit card for the weekend. On Saturday, a woman dropped her wallet at a Chili's restaurant where she worked and couldn't find it. According to deputies, she claimed she checked her bank statement, finding several charges made after she lost her wallet. Detectives verified the times of those unauthorized purchases and got security footage. That's where they saw Atwood wearing a Chili's baseball hat and using the woman's card. He was also seen buying a case of beer and a pumpkin. When deputies arrived at his home, they found the pumpkin carved by the front door. Once Atwood arrived home, they found the victim's credit cards, driver's license, and other cards in the wallet. All jokes aside, it's sad an individual would do this to anyone, but especially someone with whom they work with, Sheriff Bill Prummel said. Deputies arrested Atwood and took both he and the pumpkin to the county jail.
There you go. Have a nice night.
What a douchebag. I did not know you're going to get caught. Come on, man. Legendary former Indiana University men's basketball coach Bob Knight has passed away at the age of 83.
I'd say, boys, we're going to play basketball my way. We're not going to vote on what offense or what defense or who the hell's going to play or anything, because I've forgotten more about this game than you're going to know, and we're going to play it my way.
In an announcement yesterday on his website, his family said, "It's with heavy hearts we share Bob Knight passed away at his home in Bloomington, surrounded by his family," the Post read. "We will continue to celebrate his life and remember him today and forever as a beloved husband, father, coach, and friend." Knight was among the winningest coaches in the sport, finishing his career with 902 victories in 42 seasons at Army, Indiana, and Texas Tech. He also coached the U.S. Olympic team to a gold medal in 1984. He won 3 national championships, 11 Big Ten titles, and 662 games at Indiana. In addition to his extended career, Knight was known for his outbursts and fiery temper from the Indiana bench.
When my time on earth is gone, and my activities here are past, I want they bury me upside down and my critics can kiss my ass.
February 23, 1985, Coach Knight delivered a signature performance, flinging a chair across the Assembly Hall court during a Purdue free throw attempt.
I would like the parents to know that
why is that happening to me?
He was sick and tired of losing to Purdue.
He was. Oh, I got this clip and I want to play it for you. Here we go.
Bobby Knight just threw his chair clear across the free throw lane.
He's been in poor health for several years, but still attended some Hoosiers practices this season.
There
Bobby
he
Knight
goes, huh?
Passes at 83. A courageous dog intervened when its owner was slashed during a knife attack last week in Florida. Thursday, a man and woman were arguing about an undisclosed topic in front of a residence. The woman was allegedly seated in her car while the man was outside. At some point, things became physical and violent. 40-year-old Joshua Mueller became upset and shattered the front driver's side window with his fist, the press release said. He then went inside and grabbed a kitchen knife. Walking back outside, he confronted the victim and slashed her arms with the large knife. But then the valiant canine sprang into action to protect the woman, the sheriff's office said. The dog's defense allegedly prompted Mueller to turn his violent attention to the animal. Eventually, law enforcement arrived. The sheriff's office claims Mueller gave responding detectives a full confession when he was arrested. The woman and her 4-legged companion were harmed, but both are now recuperating after the incident. They say that dog saved her life.
That's awesome. What a good puppy.
Has everyone had one of those dogs that reacts to a human physical confrontation?
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, we have them now.
Yeah, I have one now, too.
When we were kids, one of our dogs reacted that way. Now, has everyone also had one of those dogs where, you could beat someone to death with your bare hands and they would stare at it and not react at all?
Yes.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I've had both.
In our, when my son comes home from school, I like to attack him, a surprise attack sometimes for a wrestling match, and our dogs will usually get involved. And I got to say, they're on my side now.
Are they?
Yeah, when he was younger, that wasn't the case. Now they go after him.
He's getting bigger.
In our first of 3 stories out of Ohio this morning, a 77-year-old Ohio man was arrested after he allegedly attacked a woman with a pool noodle. Carl Chastain was taken into custody Monday following the Saturday attack of a woman he flung to the floor, kicked in the ribs, and then tried to strangle with a pool noodle.
Strangle with a pool noodle?
The nature of the relationship between the victim and Chastain weren't immediately clear, but what is clear is how much of a cowardly douchebag he is. The woman couldn't defend herself because she's confined to a wheelchair. And apparently, what set him off was when she accidentally ran over his foot. He's due in a court a week from today.
Remember when we had a run-in with a dude in a wheelchair, Josh, that wanted to kick our asses?
Yeah, I don't remember why he was upset, but...
We were at a concert, me and you and Pillow Hair.
Yeah.
Me and you and Pillow Fight.
Wasn't this like an X-Fest or something like that?
It was some terrible concert with terrible bands. Yeah, you're close. Here Here came a dude in a wheelchair, big line for beer. And dude kind of rolled up on us and bashed into our ankles to get us out of the way so he could get a beer.
Jeez.
And I think it was Pillow Fight that said, hey, man, dial it back. And he said, you want to go?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Those were the two that really got into it.
I was like, somebody buy this guy a beer, for God's sake.
No kidding. Yeah, we'll just get you one,
This
man.
guy's running hot over here.
You don't have to fight anyone.
Waiting to go see the Posies or some terrible mid-'90s band or something.
I want beer.
He did want beer. An Ohio social worker accused of having sex with a 13-year-old boy in her care is making new headlines after an old retweet of hers resurfaced. Before being busted for the inappropriate relationship with the minor, she shared an image with the message, "Dead pedophiles don't reoffend."
She said that, huh?
She did.
Oh, no.
All right, you said it.
Oh, boy.
An account belonging to Peyton Shires reveals the 24-year-old, who's been charged with unlawful sexual conduct with a minor, at one time at least supported the death penalty for pedophiles. Charges were levied against the social worker following an October 6 phone call with the boy's mother and detectives from the Columbus Police Department, during which she admitted to the despicable behavior. She landed herself in even more trouble when she later showed up at the teen's home with a gun, telling the victim's mom she wanted to kill her because the mom and son had ruined her life, she said. It's the mom and son's fault.
It's a very interesting angle she's taking there.
She previously worked for the National Youth Advocate Program, which specializes in working with families involved in the foster care system.
That's creepy.
Yeah, that's a delusional nutbag there. Mm-hmm. And finally, from the Buckeye State, an Ohio judge issued an arrest warrant for a woman accused of pooping on a church altar.
Oh, don't do that.
You might remember this story. 27-year-old Laura Miniard was due in court Monday for a hearing in connection with her indictment for relieving herself inside the chapel at Cincinnati's Good Samaritan Hospital. But when she failed to appear for her Monday court date, the judge ordered her arrest. Originally busted for felony desecration, since her arrest earlier this year, she's repeatedly violated the terms of her supervised release. In addition to removing an electronic monitoring device, she traveled outside the state, failed to abide by an approved schedule, and didn't keep a monitoring unit charged, leaving a probation officer to report her whereabouts unknown. She was busted in May after she allegedly defecated on the altar and used a fabric runner on an altar to wipe her butt.
She wipes.
She also smeared her lady turds everywhere she could, including on the walls, the floors, the pulpit, everything.
Picked it up and spread it around.
Yeah, here you go. Here you go.
Nothing but trouble right there. That sounds like nothing but trouble.
There's a surprising online search term surging as of late, and researchers aren't sure why. They have some theories, but they're not exactly sure why this term is surging. It's not Taylor Swift or Travis Kelce related.
They're keeping track of my search terms, my search things?
They are.
I'll be damned.
It's not, why is Nick pretending to get married? And it's not even, how do I get a MILF unstuck from this dryer? Rather, the world of public health is witnessing an unanticipated uptick in online searches related to diarrhea. While initially attributed to the high-profile Delta Airlines incident where a lady left a poopy trail of Cleveland tap water down the aisle of an airplane, a closer look revealed interest in this most unpleasant of symptoms has been rising for years. From September 2018 to September 2023, search volumes related to diarrhea increased by about 40%. The growing focus on Boston butt spackle may be attributed to several factors, including increased international travel, new COVID and flu variants, and even recently launched popular medications which can cause diarrhea. But whatever the case of the dramatic rise, officials say the massive jump in diarrhea-related online searches is odd and unexpected. Everyone's...
Did you say Boston butt spackle?
I did.
You guys can save some time. You don't have to crack open your laptops. You can just ask me if you have any questions about it.
I was Googling whenever I have to spell it because I can never remember how to spell diarrhea.
It's not an easy one to spell.
Maybe that has something to do with it.
I wonder if that adds to it.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
When you said diarrhea, or when anyone says diarrhea, am I the only one? There you go.
Yeah.
It pops in my head every time.
Me too. I always want to wrap that up with cha-cha-cha.
Yep.
And I think that'll probably be that way until the day that I die.
Police in Utah arrested a school bus driver Monday who allegedly set a bus on fire as he was transporting 66 children.
He set it on fire while he was driving it somehow?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, that's just basically the least of it. Not to diminish what he did, but this guy has a thing. 58-year-old Michael Ford taken into custody in connection to a school bus fire in February 2022, where investigators say he intentionally set a fire on the bus while he was behind the wheel. The arrest report describes surveillance video on the bus involved in the incident, which apparently showed Ford committing arson. However, while police didn't describe the incriminating video, the affidavit did detail a separate, more recent incident in which the bus driver reportedly started a fire on a different bus he was driving. The more recent video from an onboard camera showed Ford hold a lighter to the electric gear in the steering column whenever the bus came to a stop in traffic every time.
Jesus.
The video showed Ford looking down several times at the smoke and intermittently visible flames. Police described the footage from last year's incident as being very similar, except for one major difference: the dozens of minors on board. In the incident from last year, multiple students are seen covering their faces with their shirts and coughing just before Ford is seen pulling the bus over and letting the students off the bus. He then contacted the school district to report a bus fire. The arrest report stated those two incidents weren't the only ones in which Ford was suspected to be involved. He's actually been linked to 4 fires on school buses, all of which included the vehicle's electrical systems and all of which were being driven by Ford at the time.
This guy's got like a regular gimmick then, doesn't he?
He does. Not only that, he's allegedly had been involved in 4 additional fires on top of those, 2 of which were at his residence, while 2 more were vehicle fires.
I would like the parents to know that this is an anomaly and the system is working. This person has been discovered and removed from the system.
The Utah State Fire Marshal said surveillance video will be key in the investigation.
Did you guys ever have a school bus driver that tried to set the sumbitch on fire?
No, I haven't. No.
We had some weird school bus drivers, but we never had one try to set the pig on fire.
A man's recovering after his ankles were run over by a school bus.
That hurts.
According to Minneapolis police, officers were called to a report of a crash involving a school bus around 4:30 p.m. Monday. The man, identified as being in his 60s, told police he jumped out of the way while he was in the crosswalk, but his ankles were hit as the bus was turning left.
Oh!
According to the report, there were no passengers on the school bus during the incident. In addition, the driver was cooperative with authorities and stayed at the scene.
The bus wasn't on fire?
No.
All right.
The bus was not on fire. The investigation is ongoing. And to the best of my knowledge, this guy doesn't have a habit of running over old people's ankles either.
Just God, my ankles.
Unfortunate accident.
You ran over my ankle.
My ankles.
When you see an emergency vehicle pulled over on the side of the road, Minnesota law previously required you to move over or slow down. But a change in this law will now apply to all vehicles on the side of the road.
It's really just common sense, right? If you're outside your vehicle or you're stalled, you want people to move over and slow down for you.
I think it's great. I already was moving over for other people, even if it's just a regular car stopped on the side of the road, just because I wouldn't want to get hit if I was on the shoulder.
Settle down.
The move over law was created decades ago in honor of State Trooper Ted Foss, who was hit by a vehicle and sadly killed during a traffic stop. But now Minnesota lawmakers have changed the law to make it safer for everyone who has to pull over. Mm-hmm. The new version of the law reads that if you're driving on a road with 2 or more lanes going in the same direction and see a vehicle with flashing lights on the shoulder of the road, you should move over a lane. If it isn't safe to do so, you should slow down. In just the last few years, State Patrol has issued over 6,000 tickets for people failing to move over. Fines can exceed $100.
By damn, over $100.
Not a cheap one.
My dad was one of those people not too long ago that he didn't realize that you had to move over if like someone was in like the center of a ditch with their lights on or whatever. So, I mean, good for me. Now I'm like terrified and always move over because I don't want to be like him, but
nobody wants to be like your dad.
It was an expensive ticket, that's for sure. Something he was not expecting.
He was ticketed? The cops pulled up on him and ticketed him?
Yeah, they weren't playing.
Was he a dick about it?
Nah. Maybe.
Thursday Night Football and Amazon Prime tonight will feature the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Tennessee Titans, and an uninterested Al Michaels, I'd imagine. Korn bassist Fieldy, 54.
Is that right?
Poison bassist Bobby Dahl, 60.
It's a day for brilliant bass guitar players.
Sure as heck is. John texted in a happy anniversary shout-out to his smoking hot lady, Rachel. Happy birthday to Northwoods Cop Jesus from Tonka TIG Welding Jesus. And a birthday shout-out to Big J Jeff. Hope the Busch lattes taste good tonight, says Magnut Jesus. And that's 93X News.
KARE 11's Randy Shaver.
Wearing masks and robbing people in these back streets.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Indiana is the national champion. They're capping off an undefeated season.
Let's just do one thing this half. Let's play 20 minutes of basketball our way. Let's go, fellas.
Let me finish the answer. Is that okay,
Go
Jeremy?
ahead.
Is that fair enough?
Please, go right
Have I
ahead.
interrupted your questions yet?
Yes.
No, I haven't. You got a long way to go to be as good as your dad.
Michael Jordan has played 12 minutes. He has 11 rebounds, 9 assists, and 19 points. And I'm a great believer in the best 3 minutes of the game for us has got to be the first 3 minutes of the second half. But what the hell am I going to say? Idea light flashes. I say to myself, I'm going to get on Jordan's ass a little bit. And everybody else is going to say, God, if he's upset with Jordan, how's he feel about me? And I say, Mike, when the hell are you going to set a screen? All you've been doing so far, damn it, is rebounding, passing, and scoring. You need to screen, Mike. But he looks up at me and he grins a little bit and he says, Coach, didn't I see last week where you said I was the quickest player you'd ever been around? I said, Mike, what the hell has that got to do with you screening? Coach, I think I'm setting them quicker than you can see them out there. I was flexible enough to look at Jordan and say, damn it, slow him down a little bit so I can see him.
Acid rock. Here's Randy Shaver, everybody. Old Randy.
Old Randy.
There he
That's
is.
me.
And Randy, your friend Janelski is here.
Ah, Janelski.
Hi, Randy.
Young Janelski.
Yeah, she showed up drunk again.
That's why she's always smiling.
It is Thursday.
Yep. What the hell are you going to do? She said when she walked in. It's Thursday. What do you
Right.
want
What
from
are you-
me?
What are you going to do to me anyway?
Yeah, you
Wait a
can't
minute.
fire me.
Right.
Last week you were on last week you were on earlier in the week,
Yeah.
and you said, it is Tuesday. I think you'll say that any day.
How are you, Janelle?
I'm great.
What's been going on?
Well, I was in Arizona for a little bit doing some baseball stuff. And then we've been following, I don't know if you guys are following this, was kind of an interesting case right here in Minnesota, this Mayo Clinic doctor that poisoned his wife. Or
Yeah.
is charged with poisoning his wife, I should say.
No, I didn't hear that story.
Yeah.
A doctor has been accused of poisoning his wife. Is it one of these deals where he got some lethal mix that only a doctor would have access to?
Well,
Yes.
wasn't that his specialty
That was
as
his
well?
specialty, right.
What do you mean?
Well, so he worked in poison control, or like that was sort of his expertise.
Oh, if some kid ingested a bottle of 409, he'd be
Right.
the one. Okay.
Yep.
No, I hadn't followed that. That's dark, but yet interesting.
It's an interesting case.
And you were covering the baseball, the World Series a little bit?
I didn't go to the game. I was doing some interviews and things around that. Yeah.
Who'd you get to talk to?
No one famous.
Oh.
Or was it like fan
Well,
reaction?
I shouldn't say that. There were some people that probably were that I probably can't say. But yeah, it was nothing directly related to the game, kind of a feature thing around that.
Well, that's...
Has it already aired?
It has not aired yet.
Where can we watch it?
That's a great question. I don't know.
Did you
even
really
know who you worked
Yeah,
for?
exactly.
Were you officially hired, or you just did it on your own?
Were you
Did you
just
dream
there?
this?
Were you just there talking to people? And
And thought
Yeah.
it was for a story?
I think I'm working.
sorry to be so secretive, but yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know it was a secret.
Oh wow.
It's
You'll have to-
industry stuff. We wouldn't understand. It's
Right.
deep
Right.
industry
Right,
stuff.
right.
Well, will you be able to tell us more? We'd all
I
love
will.
to watch it.
I will when it's out there. I will make sure and let you guys know.
Awesome.
We'd like to see that. Well, you're a busy professional as usual. Randy just kind of sits around the house now, waiting for the end.
That's right.
Bobby Knight has
For the
died.
end of the show.
The end of the show. Randy, we played some Bobby Knight audio.
Yes,
He has passed.
he has.
He was pretty good at teaching kids how to play basketball. He wasn't always the nicest guy in the world.
No. You know,
83 years old, Bobby Knight, one of college basketball's all-time most successful coaches, has passed on.
during his career, that was a little bit more accepted.
Yes, it was.
It would not be accepted now.
Absolutely wouldn't even come close.
And the reason why it wouldn't be accepted now is because Bobby Knight was who he was then. And I think that's part of it, right? So it's just a different time. There was a lot more tolerance and patience for someone of Bobby Knight's
type of personality.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
He was so many different things, but no one can dispute the fact he was one of the greatest coaches to ever live.
Where did he finish all-time college victories? Somewhere's in the top 10, right?
Oh, I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
I don't have the exact numbers in front of me. I mean, to have a team go undefeated in 1975, 76, I don't care what era you're coaching in, that is a feat that deserves incredible respect. That Indiana team that went 32-0 and won the national title will always be remembered. It was, an incredible team with Quinn Buckner and
Quinn Buckner,
Scotty May, and guys like that. It was Kent Benson, the big center.
Kent Benson, he said. Yeah.
Bobby Knight was 14th in wins.
14th? I thought he was higher up than that in all-time college victories. I thought he was higher. I would assume he would be higher up than that.
902 he's got. Mike Krzyzewski had over 1,200.
Maybe when he retired, Nick, he was in the top
when he
5 or 10.
That could be it. That could be it. Well.
He was let go in 1990? When was he let go? 2000.
From Indiana?
2000.
Yeah, then he coached
23 years ago.
Coached at Texas Tech for another, 7 or 8 years?
7 years.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's how I thought it played out. You want a lame claim to fame? You said Quinn Buckner a little bit a minute ago. You said Quinn Buckner, who I loved watching play basketball. Yeah. A friend of mine went to a high school where the principal was Quinn Buckner mama.
Oh.
Yeah. Quinn Buckner's mother I always thought that was the coolest thing. I'm like, you knew Quinn Buckner's mother? But that's because I'm a dork.
I have one about Bobby Knight.
Go ahead.
A buddy of mine got sworn at by Bobby Knight.
What was the situation
there's
there?
a lot of people there.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's a long list for sure. He was at the Twins game for some reason, and we saw him walking out.
Probably hanging out with Sid.
Yeah, exactly. Him and Sid came out of kind of the loading dock where the players left. We happened to be walking by. And my smart-ass buddy else, I'm like, whoa, don't choke me. And he just goes, F you.
Yeah.
So I've been around Bobby Knight a few times in news conference settings at Williams Arena, downstairs in the hallway or in the meeting rooms after games.
Janelle was down there. She didn't know who she was working for.
I did.
Asking random questions.
Sid did introduce him to me. Sid, he was at the Vecchio's in Dinkytown. Sid was having lunch.
That was like the popular spot there for so many years.
With Bobby.
Sure.
And this is the time when Sid and Chad were doing the TV show with me back in the mid-'90s, and Sid invited me. I was doing something at the Gophers facility, and Sid invited me to stop by to meet Bobby Knight. So I did.
Yeah.
And couldn't have been any nicer.
Very nice to you.
Well, I think when he was around Sid,
it
was just a different person, right?
Right. They were tight.
They were very tight. And that's the first person I thought of, and I said this last night in the news when I did a little story on it. The first person I thought of when I heard Bobby Knight had passed was Sid, because they were, as we all know, the slogan, close personal friends.
Sure.
Sid was very close with Bobby, very close with Lou Holtz. Those were kind of his close personal friends. So
are they going to?
Go ahead.
Are they going to bury Bobby face down so folks can kiss his ass?
My time on Earth is gone, and my activities here are past. I want they bury me upside down, and my critics can kiss my ass.
So he was very nice in the handful of times you were around him.
I wouldn't say very nice. I was in a couple of news conference settings at the barn where he was a real ass.
Yeah, he can't be nice at the barn.
Yeah.
I was never a big fan of the guy's personality. I got to a point where I greatly disliked him.
Yeah, and you're not alone.
Right.
The other thing I thought of, Nick, and I know you'll appreciate this, when Bobby Knight coached the Indiana Hoosiers, it was a glorious time.
Oh, yeah.
For Gopher basketball fans to go to the barn and see all these incredibly crusty, fun-watching coaches in the Big Ten.
Yes.
Gene Cady,
yes.
Purdue. Lou Henson, Illinois, Bobby Knight at Indiana,
Judd Heathcote.
Judd Heathcote at Michigan State. I mean, it was just a glorious time to cover Big Ten basketball. And you could throw Clem in there. You could throw Jimmy Dutch in there. It was just so much fun on a Saturday afternoon to go to the barn when those teams were in town, because not only would it be a fun game on the court, but you could watch those coaches and just the range of emotions they would go through depending on how the game was going. It was a show within a show.
You are so absolutely correct, and it's a shame that some folks will never get to experience that, because just as you were saying, there was an era of Big Ten basketball that some of us got to see and some of us didn't, where there were 4 or 5 coaches in the Big Ten who really honestly should have been in insane asylums the way they behaved on the sideline. It was a riot to watch these guys operate.
And that just doesn't exist anymore. And those guys, the home fans, especially the student body, got on those guys so well.
Oh, yeah.
It was just theater. It was just so much fun.
Yes, it was. Yeah, it was a beautiful time. It was the show within a show. I would catch myself at times. I'm not even watching the game. I'm just watching Gene Cady or Judd Heathcote to see when they are going to implode on the sideline and act like 5-year-olds. These are grown men. Judd Heathcote would make faces where you'd be convinced he was an infant baby.
He's sitting on that stool on the court, because, the raised court at Williams Arena, and he's just miserable.
Yes.
Just miserable.
You made a good point also when you said it's a different time now. You can't coach kids these days the way Bob Knight and some other folks coached kids. It's not accepted anymore. And it's because really the starting point for that movement was Bob Knight.
That's
and Dana, if you didn't understand the joke Dana was talking about earlier, where his buddy said, "Oh, Bobby Knight, don't choke me," that goes back to the end of his time at Indiana. It was some former Indiana players who were the first ones to speak out and say, "Hey, look, this guy was an inappropriate prick while we were playing for him." And there was one kid who said, "Look, he choked me at practice." And that's what started this whole movement. Okay, we need to start handling these situations a little bit better. And in some cases, it's gotten out of control, where now the players are running the show instead of the coach. It's gone too far in that direction, in my personal opinion. But it was some controversy with Bob Knight that kind of started the whole thing.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, it was a hell of a show.
I never had a problem with Bobby Knight. I just didn't really care one way or the other, but I hated the youth coaches that were clearly trying to be like him and, yelling all the time and making you run and just clearly just doing a bad Bobby Knight impression. It's like, relax, we're 14.
Yeah, there's always a little bit of that going around.
I can tell you the people that I knew who were, Hoosiers fans or interested in Bobby Knight weren't just like normal fans, super fans. Was that kind of your guys' experience too? The people who liked Bobby Knight loved Bobby Knight. They
swore by everything he said and did.
They could choke out them.
Yes.
And they would still find a reason why he's the greatest of all time.
Yes.
But then you'll have the flip side of that too. You'll have players who played for him who absolutely adored the guy.
Yeah.
I mean, even though he was extremely difficult on that. If you ever read anything from Steve Alford, who was the former Indiana guard that played for him as a 19-year-old, started for Bobby Knight, which was rare. The things that he writes about and the things that Bobby Knight said to him that he took, and some of those things he put on himself too. He wanted Bobby Knight to be hard on him. But then
he needed that as a player.
He needed it and appreciated it later in life. And they were. I read an article yesterday that Alford actually didn't write, but contributed some of the quotes and things after he had learned that Bobby had passed. It is really well done, and it's very good. And it's very insightful about just not everybody had that kind of relationship, obviously. But Alford did, and it was just amazing reading. So,
well, some of us have had coaches in youth sports that you carry some of what they taught you or told you throughout your entire life. Some of our coaches in youth sports were absolute morons, but some of them you carry the lessons they taught you until the day that you die. Janelle, like when I was a child, and our youth soccer coach, who was very Greek, said to us before the championship game, if you win today, I buy you Penthouse magazines. And then he looked into each of our eyes and he said, but if you lose, and he made a motion like he had a scissors in his hands, if you lose, I cut your sausages off.
Did you win?
It's a true story. We lost in overtime.
Oh.
Penthouse magazines on one side, the other side, I cut your sausages off.
Boy, that's extreme. Penthouse over Playboy, he went for it.
He was.
There's quite the difference there.
He's still around. He was one of my best friend's dad, and he was our hockey coach, our soccer coach, our everything coach. He's still to this day one of my favorite people that I've ever encountered in my life. I haven't seen him in years, but, and speaking of the change in how parents see their children's coaches and things like that. Parents will watch over the coach's shoulder at all times now and make sure the coach is fair and not saying anything. When we were kids, that particular guy I was telling you about, my Greek youth sports coach, he was as raw as a sumbitch. And our folks never said a word. Nobody's folks ever said a word. Want to know why? Because he's the friggin', because he's the friggin' coach.
Right.
He wasn't hurting anybody. He was very funny, but yeah, he cursed a lot. He probably was a little more firm than he should have been with 9-year-olds, but he was the coach. Mind your damn business, parents.
But the parents were okay with that,
yes,
too.
Yes, they were.
It was just a different time.
It was.
A different era, and there was a clear line between being a fan and a parent and being a coach. And that line is so blurred now because parents feel they have the right to interfere in that process. And it's gotten out of hand.
It has. Hey, no one's going to argue with me. I don't think anyone's going to argue with me next time I predict that the Wolves are going to beat the defending champions by 20 points.
Is that not just hilarious?
That's the Wolves, isn't it, Randy?
Yes, it is. We said this last night.
Yep.
They'll lose to the Pistons or whomever, but they'll beat the best.
They led from start to finish over the Denver Nuggets last night.
And I have to say this, I think Chris Finch kind of said the same thing if you read between the lines of this quote. The maturity comes when you stack performances like this on top of each other, so that remains to be seen.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
That's saying the quote that we should write down and hold on to, because that's exactly what he's talking about. They'll go out and they'll blow a game and lose after leading by 20 in the third quarter against a foe that they should win, but then they'll turn around and play lights out against the defending champion and win by 19.
They had a great game last night at home against Denver, who hadn't lost yet on the season. The defending champs, they were looking like a juggernaut. Beat them by 21 points. Great game. And now next up, they face the Utah Jazz at home Saturday night. They got a few home games in a row, Randy Shaver.
Yeah. And actually, Denver's coach, Mike Malone, kind of said something that Denver's on the opposite side of this discussion that we have about the Wolves, in that I felt like the Wolves are Denver's Detroit Pistons.
I see what you mean, yeah.
When he said, hopefully it's a reminder that we're going to get everybody's best every night.
Yeah.
And not to take teams for granted, i.e. the Wolves.
Well, how much fun was it last night to see a club win their very first World Series?
It was great.
Yeah. Texas Rangers won their very first World Series last night, so they take out the Arizona Diamondbacks in 5 games.
It's happened! The Texas Rangers win the World Series!
5-0. The MVP is Corey Seager, like we talked about yesterday, and he deserved every bit of it.
Keep in mind, this was a team last year that won just 68 games and finished 38 games behind the Astros in the West. This is the beauty of baseball. And we've seen it before, from worst to first, that just because you're bad one year doesn't mean if a few changes are made and things fall into place, you can't be a playoff team, a contender, even a World Series champion the next year. It's not always the case in every sport, right? It takes longer than one season to build to a certain point. In baseball, sometimes it doesn't, you know? Injuries are a factor, a lot of things are a factor, but Texas won just 68 games last year and turn around to win the World Series this year.
They got her done. And Bruce
and to win all 11 games on the road.
That's insane.
I mean, that may never happen again.
And it
really.
was an odd game really last night because Zach Gallen, the starter for Arizona, has a perfect game through 6 innings.
Yeah.
But his club just can't get the bats going. And they let her go. I said earlier, going into the playoffs, everybody knew Texas could hit the piss out of the baseball. They could score a lot of runs, but I think the question mark was their pitching, specifically their bullpen. But those guys looked sharp. The guy who finished off the game last night for the Rangers, Boz, S-B-O-Z-Z, I don't know how to say his name. Boz, you know who I'm talking about?
Right.
I think they flashed something last night that in the regular season, the guy had like a 5.99 ERA. In the playoffs, it was 0.99. Yeah. I mean, the guys just, it kind of came out of nowhere. I don't think anyone expected their pitching.
Sometimes that just happens.
Yeah,
their
pitching to hold up the way. Now, Bruce Bochy has won 4 rings as a skipper.
He's the 6th manager in history to do that.
He's a very, very likable guy.
Yes, he is.
I loved him when he was coaching the Padres and the Giants. And, you know, when he came to the Giants, to the Rangers last year, I thought, well, you know, the guy just seems to know how to get it done.
He reminds me of Tom Kelly in that he's very laid back, very, you know, the players come first. He's always, you always wonder, what is he thinking? Because the wheels are always turning, yet he's just quietly, going about his business. He does remind me a little bit of TK.
Did you catch the comment from the Arizona Diamondbacks skipper after the game was over? Torey Lovello? Randy Shaver, did you catch his comment?
I did not.
He needs someone to hug.
The reason why it hurts so bad is because we care so much. We care about this baseball community. We care about the fans of Arizona. I want to run away and hide for a few days. I want to go camping and just sit in the tent and suck my thumb and eat ice cream. Is that the weirdest answer you guys have ever had right there?
I dig that.
Yeah.
He's funny. Rob Manfred, the commissioner of baseball. He struggled a little bit during the trophy presentation.
63 years is a long time to wait, but the Texas Rangers are World Series champions.
Bobby Brady.
He was struggling on the mic a little bit there.
World Series champions.
I don't know if does he have a death metal band on the side or something? And his voice was garbage. I saw some tweets about Rob Manfred Sinjinson. Someone said he must have really went hard on Halloween night. Just hung over to beat the band. And someone else tweeted, why did Rob Manfred Sinjinson look so surprised that everyone booed him? Like, do you know who you are? You're the commissioner. They're always going to boo the commissioner. Right. Speaking of TK, Tom Kelly, you mentioned a minute ago, a friend of mine had something interesting to say at the bar the other night. We were talking about Tom Kelly and winning those World Series in 87 and 91. And when the Twins won in 87, Tom Kelly was only 41 years old.
Yes.
And he was the youngest in 100 years or whatever to win a World Series as a manager.
First year as the manager.
41 years old to win a World Series. And this buddy of mine, who now is about, 43 or something like that years old, he said, He said, when I watched the 87 World Series, I was 8 years old or whatever he said. I was 7 or 8 years old. And he said, when I saw, you know how this works, everybody. He said, when I would look at Tom Kelly on television then, he looked to be 65 years old.
Yeah.
But yet he was only 41. And I said, I think Tom Kelly was one of those guys where he looked 40 from the time he was in 9th grade. You know what I mean?
Yep. Always looked older than he looked.
Always looked older than he looked.
The one thing that stands out to me about Tom Kelly, and I didn't see the celebration by Texas, so I can't compare, is that the one thing I'll never forget, both World Series, but especially 87, when they win the World Series, when Gaetti throws to Herbeck,
and for the very first time.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
And the players rush the field. Tom Kelly sits in the dugout.
Yes, he did.
Never left the dugout. Stayed in the dugout. It was all about the players.
I remember it like it was yesterday.
Yep. I thought that was pretty emblematic of his coaching style, his managerial style, and who he was as a manager.
I think what I remember watching in order, he shook hands with Dick Such, who was the pitching coach.
Yes.
He put his arm around his son, and then he spit out the largest wad of chewing tobacco I had ever seen up to that point in my life onto the floor of the dugout. I remember the cameras caught him just kind of going, kind of spit my Red Man out onto the floor of the. This is what I'll always take away from this year's World Series. And this was Game 4. The hilarious sound of a home plate umpire getting smoked in the bag by a foul tip.
Jeez. 60 years. Boy, nobody's safe back there right now.
Yeah, let me brush the plate off here.
Oh, man.
Oh, wow.
Just happened to be mic'd up.
He kept it together.
Yeah, he did.
He was mic'd up, the home plate umpire by the name of David Rackley, and his balls got tuned up. There was a foul tip at the plate. Ball skips up and hits him in the coins. Can we hear that one more time?
Jeez.
60 years. Boy, nobody's safe back there right now.
Yeah, let me brush the plate off here.
Oh, man.
He's got to be the only man.
Oh, my word.
There it is. Have any of you boys ever taken one of the pills and all you said was, "Aw, geez"? That's when you know you're mic'd up. He did all right.
Oh, my word.
That's the greatest audio in Olympic history.
Yes.
It's in second place behind "Do You Believe in," whatever the.
Yeah.
That guy get.
Oh, my word.
Oh. Time out for a concert announcement. Green Day's coming to town.
Woo.
Green Day with Smashing Pumpkins, Rancid. I haven't heard that in a long time.
Boy, I haven't either.
And the Lindas are coming to town against all odds. Against all odds, those 4 bands are coming to town. Saturday, August 17th at Target Field. The ballpark?
Yeah.
Check that out, everybody. Green Day, Smashing Pumpkins, Rancid, and the Lindas. Wonder if that has anything to do with the movie Arthur. I hope it does. Linda! Dudley Moore, 1980, Arthur.
Great movie.
Tickets are on sale Friday. Oh, pardon me. Tickets are on sale next Friday, November 10th. But you can listen to 93X all next week to win them before you can buy them. That was a world premiere type concert announcement right there, Janelle and Randy.
That was fabulous.
Pretty good.
It's going to be a big show.
Did you enjoy it?
Yes.
That means we get Foo Fighters and Green Day at Target Field next summer.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's fantastic.
In like a month of each other?
Yeah.
There'll be a lot of punk rock sounds coming out of that joint.
But it'll be a lot of the same people at both shows.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Is Linda home?
Isn't that the video of the little kid talking to his mom, but calls her Linda.
It
Linda,
is.
Linda.
That was so funny.
I think that's
Listen, Linda, listen.
Listen, Linda, Linda.
Oh my
Linda.
gosh, my parents were obsessed with that video when it came out, and of course they didn't find it until like 2 years after everybody else did.
Are Janelle and I the only ones who don't know the reference?
No, I actually do.
Oh, you know the reference?
Yeah.
I don't.
Heck yeah.
Linda. He's like in the kitchen and he's arguing with his mom, and but he's calling
So
her
cute.
Linda.
I think he wants a treat, or he
Do
wants
you want like a muffin or something?
Yeah.
Or a cupcake?
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know that bit.
Here's some of it. Yep. Computer just took a dump on me.
And then Matthew has all his toys.
Okay, but I have to yell at you guys.
Linda, listen. Listen, Linda. Listen.
Okay, what?
Like everything they do at this house, you can't trust everything at Grandma's house.
And he's even closing his eyes like, can you just give me a second, Linda?
I'm exhausted.
I really need this cupcake.
Oh, wow. Don't you hate Perry's wife? I'm still sticking with the Arthur bit. Wow, how do you think you deal with this? There was a heavyweight boxer doing his thing a handful of nights ago. He's boxing in Saudi Arabia. He goes by the name of Martin Bacol, is my attempt at his name. Fighting a heavyweight fight out there in Saudi Arabia. It must have been an outdoor show, but I can't be positive. And sometime during the match, a wasp stings the living hell out of his face, and then he swallows it.
Midway through the fight, you've swallowed a wasp. I can't believe it. Still coughing until now. And it just stabbed me in the ring, and I was surprised it's in my mouth. So did it sting you? Of course, yeah. I was vomiting in my change room. I kept vomiting about 1 minute, and I think it's still here, but I think I'll be okay.
Trying to fight a boxing match, a wasp tees off on his face, and then it gets into his mouth, goes down his throat. He swallows the damn thing. And he said later on, didn't he say, Josh, he could still feel it moving around his damn throat?
No, thank you.
It didn't have any stingers left, but he could still feel it kind of walking up and down his trachea or something.
Oh my God.
And he's throwing up. He couldn't throw it up. He doesn't know any references to the movie Arthur. It was a terrible night.
That's bad.
You guys know how I feel about those bees and wasps and hornets. I hate those sumbitches.
Right.
One of them got me right on my eyeball when I was a young person.
Ooh. That had to hurt.
Oh, God. Stupid kid. I ran out the door to, the ice cream man was in town or something, and didn't realize there was a bowling ball-sized wasp nest right above the door, and they about killed me. The Pigs are at home tonight by 7 o'clock over there at the X. The television channel Bally Sports North is planning to broadcast the game. They need to have a good showing. This hasn't looked so good here from the get-go for the Pigs. While speaking with the media yesterday, the spray tan man, Pigs coach Dean Evison said that the plan is for Matt Boldy to return to the lineup. He's missed the last 7 games. Randy, he had an upper body injury.
Yes. Those are the worst.
That's for sure.
He contributed quite a few points last season, if my memory serves me right. I think he had 30 goals or so.
Really good young player.
But they've lost 3 in a row. The last one in New Jersey, of course.
It's early.
I hear you.
It's early.
Some old-timey former NHL player by the name of Wayne Gretzky is called for the NHL to mandate neck guards. We'll see if his name carries any weight these days.
Such a sad story, not only for the Johnson family, but for the other player that sort of committed the so-called accident. So here we are now. All these kids grew up, especially in Canada, wearing the neck guards. Why take it off? Keep the neck guards on, and I'm sure the Players Association and the Commissioner's Office, they're going to grandfather this in, and eventually we're going to see all kids coming into the league wearing neck guards to protect themselves.
Yeah, he's right. It'll be mandatory.
I think you should, don't you? I mean, is the only argument not to wear them because they're not comfortable?
That's probably about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be mandatory soon enough, and that's fine. That's good. It
should be.
That's great.
It should be.
Boy, you know what? Wayne Gretzky kind of, all of a sudden he sounds like an old man. And that's something.
He always kind of sounded like that, but you're right.
Well,
it's a little bit different.
He never had a hell of a lot of bass in his voice.
That's correct.
And he did have a little bit of a squeaky voice. Kind of reminds me of Neil Broughton. Now, that's one of my heroes.
Oh, that's even worse than that.
That's one of my heroes, and I'm not.
Yes.
Please don't.
The voice never really went with the mystique.
Yeah, don't,
so to speak, right?
Don't assume that I'm trying to make fun of Neil Broughton because he's one of the.
No.
But I mean, yeah, especially you can go back to when they won the NCAA title in 1979. Broughton got that game-winning goal over Nodak, right?
Yeah.
And they interview him after the game. I mean, what was he, 19 years old or something like that? Yeah. Do you remember the quote, Randy?
I don't.
You could probably find this on YouTube where the interviewer says something about the game-winning goal. You've won the 1979, and Neil Broughton says, "Oh boy, am I happy!" I'm serious. I think that's he just always had that delivery.
That's right.
What else is going on around here? Oh, we were talking about the old days of coaching and whatnot with the passing of Bobby Knight. Here's a guy who wants to bring the piss and vinegar of old school rivalries back to sports. I believe he's the head football coach at Oklahoma State by the name of Mike Gundy.
Oh gosh, yeah.
He's kind of a wild card, isn't he?
He is. Yeah. He's the one. Isn't he the one that had the famous line about "I'm a man" or something like
40.
that? Yeah.
You want to start trouble? Started with me. I'm a man. I've got pubes or something like that. He said.
Yeah.
Don't remember the pubes part.
Yeah, he said something about pubes. You can check that out. He hates social media. Well, good. I do too. I think it should be shut off. But he says he specifically hates social media because it has stopped rivals from spitting in each other's faces. And he talks about the old days of how rivalries used to be so bitter. Now, he played quarterback for Oklahoma State in the late 80s. Played against Brian Bosworth.
Sure.
So what's his nuts? Gundy's at Oklahoma State. Bosworth is at Oklahoma regular.
Yep.
And he talks about how they used to spit in each other's faces on the field. He said, we didn't have phones and social media. It was a real rivalry then. Bosworth would spit in my face, and I'd spit in his face.
Oh, that's hot.
Do you believe do you mean that, or are you being sarcastic?
No, I'm sarcastic.
Oh. You just never know with you.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Now in his eyes, it's not as bitter and nasty as it used to be. Well, no, it isn't.
Well, isn't this like maybe the last year they're going to play each other too because Oklahoma's going to the SEC?
I read that.
So this is like the last. I forget what they call the rivalry game between Oklahoma and Oklahoma State.
Bedlam.
The Bedlam.
It's simply called Bedlam.
Yeah, I think this is the last year that might happen.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, this guy wants to just go back to smacking each other around and trash talking and making a move on the other guy's mom and things like that, like we used to do back in the old days. Right, Josh?
Well, that wasn't my experience.
That's how you got under the skin of your rival. You made a move on his mother.
You dated his mom.
Yeah.
I'd like
without his knowledge.
I'd like you to start calling me Dad, if you would. Would you call me Dad, please?
Oh, that's a good one. Oh boy,
let's go have a catch.
Oh boy, am I happy.
Do you want to play this Dabo Sweeney audio? Is this still cute? Dabo,
oh, yeah,
he
sure.
wet his pants.
Pissy.
He's the coach at Clemson's college football program. He wet his pants on live radio because a caller told him that he makes too much money.
After that 2018 national title, something changed. The arrogance came in. Why are we paying you $11.5 million to go 4-4?
All right. What's this guy's name?
Tyler.
Hey, Tyler. I've listened to enough of you. Listen, man, you can have your opinion all you want, and you can apply for the job, and good luck to you. We're second in draft picks. We've graduated 98% of our guys. We're second in wins. Frank Howard never had a bad year. Coach Ford never had a bad year. Coach K has never had a bad year in basketball. I'm sure you've never made any bad decisions. I'm sure you've lived a perfect life. I started as the lowest paid coach in this freaking business, and I'm where I am because I've worked my ass off. And I ain't going to let some smart-ass kid get on this phone and create this stuff.
All right, dude.
Yeah, he's got a point.
Some smart-ass kid. Get on the phone. Back in my day, we didn't have phones. We used to bang each other's moms. The Vikings' next opponent, the Atlanta Falcons, they're also monkeying around with their quarterback setup. They say a kid named Tyler Heineke.
Well, he used to play here.
Mm-hmm. Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I think it's the kid out of Coastal Carolina, isn't it? Tyler.
The name
Taylor
sounds familiar because he played for the Commodores. I don't remember.
I think he was here.
I thought he was as well.
Dude, it's fine.
Yeah.
I don't care one way or the other. I don't really see too many Taylor Heineke jerseys around town. So he was a backup?
He was a backup.
Sorry, I blew up.
2015, he was an undrafted free agent and then came over to us.
And I remember how excited we all were, right, when he came over here.
He was the most popular man on the roster.
He will start against the Vikings. You following where I'm going with this?
So they're benching Desmond Ridder.
Yes, and they're going with the wildly popular here in Minnesota, Taylor Heineke.
So it's going to be an epic battle.
Oh,
that's what you're saying.
I've never seen anything quite like it.
Actually, to be honest with you, it may be the most intriguing game of the season thus far.
Well,
just because of all the changes and the injuries and the questions and what's at stake. Because both these teams, I believe, are 4-4.
I'll go along with that too. I think you're correct.
I just think that this may be the most intriguing game to this point of the season.
Well, you know this. Who loves bad football?
I know. I'm with you. I think the teams are more interesting when they're losing than when they're winning.
I love bad football. The Los Angeles, what do you call that town again, where you lose your money and you see
Vegas?
Prostitutes? Las Vegas Raiders are a big friggin' mess, and Josh, now they've gone ahead and benched Jimmy.
I saw that. That's too bad. He's going to need a shoulder to cry on.
That's more time for you, Josh.
They benched Jimmy Garoppolo.
Who's their backup?
Aiden O'Connell.
Oh, my gosh.
I don't know what that means. I know about as much about him as I do that Heineke guy.
And we're worried about the backup here and not knowing who he is? I've never heard of
Aiden O'Connell.
Wow.
And as big of a mess as the Raiders are, they're still favored to beat the Giants this weekend.
They must be at home.
They fired the coach. They fired the general manager. They've benched their starting quarterback, and they're still favored to beat the Giants.
Wow. What a mess.
One more thing for you here, Randy Shaver. And then we got to focus our attention on Jungle Jane before she pops.
Yeah, she's getting kind of pissed.
Well, she's coming down. She needs a bump.
You can tell when she's like getting angry because she gets quieter.
That was my dad. And then there'd be an explosion.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what would happen.
You knew you were in trouble when nothing was being said.
Nick, here is a way you might remember Taylor Heineke. The Brotherhood has reminded me. He was out for 3 months. He severed a tendon in his foot trying to help a friend break back into his apartment. Do you remember that?
No.
Oh, I don't remember that either.
Yeah, I remember us talking about that.
So a buddy of his got locked out of his apartment. Here comes.
Tried to kick the door or something?
So, yeah,
How
apparently
did
he kicked the door open and he cut his foot on the glass pane.
Doesn't ring a bell, old Taylor Heineken.
And they said, it wasn't like drugs or alcohol related. They got locked out or whatever. He tried to get back in.
Silliness. Randy Shaver, NFL cornerback Rasul Douglas was traded from the Green Bay Packers to the Buffalo Bills Tuesday. Now, only a dork pile like Dana would give two pumps about that, but it does bring about a cute story.
This was funny.
The Bills released their Wednesday injury report, which I guess is a thing. And it lists who hasn't been practicing, what they do for a living, and why they're not practicing. So here's the rundown. Josh Allen, quarterback, right shoulder. Khair Elam, cornerback, ankle. Safety, Damar Hamlin, illness. Tight end, Quentin Morris, ankle. Linebacker, Balin Spector, hamstring. And finally, cornerback, Rasul Douglas, just got here. Why didn't he practice? Well, it says right here, because he just got here.
I think that's Josh Dobbs' designation as well.
Oh, Josh Dobbs.
For the Vikings.
I lost who that was. I lost who that was for a couple of seconds.
Just got here.
He's the new damn quarterback after a stretch of time. Odds are he will be the new starting quarterback.
Unless the Hall kid turns out to be the next Tom Brady, I think Josh Dobbs will be the starting quarterback.
Well, he's got a good last name for it. Hall. Scott Hall. He'd never let you down. Arsenio Hall.
Oh, boy.
I was in the dog pound.
You were a member of the
Hall?
Halsey Hall, the great announcer.
Yes.
Were you in the dog pound, John?
I was in the dog pound.
Let me hear you bark. Let me hear you. There you go. Daryl Hall.
And John Oates.
Yeah. But clearly, without Daryl Hall, John Oates is serving cold cuts at a sandwich shop, Daryl Hall. You ever heard him crank out that old song, Wait for Me, Randy?
I've heard a lot of music.
That's the one you got to listen for by Hall & Oates. It's called Wait for Me. So there you go.
Did you like Monty Hall?
Oh, Monty Hall.
Monty Hall. Let's make a deal. Let's make a deal.
Who didn't like Monty Hall?
Right.
I don't know. I thought he was pretty great.
He was.
If you've got a paperclip in your purse, I'll give you $100.
That show's crazy. Who's got a hard-boiled... What, 3 people have hard-boiled eggs in their purses? How did that happen?
All right, Randy Shaver, here's the deal. Tomorrow is Friday. We're going to have all kinds of laughs, and we'll maybe have a dad fight for you and Brad, and the drinking and the drugs and everything that goes along with a regular Friday broadcast.
Sounds good.
All right, man, we'll talk to you later.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Did you know that Standard Heating has over 700 years of combined experience in the heating business? Now that's a lot of brain power. Hi, Corey here. As the call center manager at Standard, I'm proud to be able to work for a company that provides top solutions and experiences for our customers. Ashley, tell us more.
Take advantage of Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's HVAC Black Friday specials and save up to $1,500 on a furnace and AC combo or $1,000 on a new boiler. Check out the hottest deals in town all through November at standardheating.com.
The football season is underway, and Believe podcasts are talking about it.
When he went home and went to sleep, Michael Parsons was terrorizing him.
Believe has podcasts covering all 32 professional teams and many of your favorite college teams, too.
And to be only producing 15 points a game, that's something that is definitely disheartening.
Sideline to sideline, end zone to end zone.
As a quarterback, I would expect him to be acting like that. Take the accountability. Put that on yourself. Don't put it on your teammates.
Search BLEAV podcasts wherever you listen.
Care 11's Janelle Klein.
She's a real monster. She is a menace to society. She's a master manipulator, and she should not be on the street.
This is the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Well, F me running. Now I don't know if I want to introduce her to the crowd.
Well, as we've gotten to know her, we thought we better put some of that out there so folks know.
Right. All these years, you guys finally figured me out.
We did.
She's
it took a while.
It took a while.
We're back for more here on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. Janelle Klein has arrived, carrying around that Janelle attitude. Janelle, Halloween is come and gone.
Yes, it has.
Did you do anything?
I did. I went to a party on Saturday night.
Whoa. Did you dress up?
I did. So here's what's funny. I didn't know that I was going to be in town. It was a last
Wapple,
minute
please. Wapple.
Sorry.
Sorry, Wapple was
Lost my
ringing the
train of
bell.
thought.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's looking around like, I don't even have a bell in front of me.
You went to a party. Sorry that Wapple had to interrupt you like that.
okay.
You went to a party Saturday night and you dressed in costume.
I did, but I didn't know I was going to be in town, so it was a last minute decision. So it was go to the store and get whatever is left on the shelf at 7:00 on Saturday night.
That's interesting. So what were you able to put together? Because
So-
a lot of us would be completely stuck.
Yeah, I kind of was. It wasn't my best effort, and it's so cliche, but I was a cat.
Were you a naughty cat?
That's none of your business, but were you?
You got the little pointy ears.
I got the little pointy ears, the whiskers, and the nose
Tail.
painted on my face.
You drew some whiskers
Yeah.
on your face.
Yeah, no tail. They didn't have any tails. All they
were out of tails.
And there's like 3 things on the shelf. What are you gonna do?
Yep.
Dana, me, and Wapple can attest. We've been to parties where we also didn't get any tail.
Lots of them.
Before you excused yourself to the restroom, did you refer to it as the litter box?
Oh, I should have. I should have been in cat mode.
It was last minute, Janelle. It's okay.
God,
You
next
didn't.
year.
Yeah, you'll be better prepared next
Yes.
year.
What kind of party are we talking? This is a house party?
A key party.
It was what?
A key party. They don't usually let single people into the key party. But
well, Janelle's
she's
different.
A television celebrity. What kind of a party was it?
It wasn't at a house. It was a friend that it's kind of crazy. He's an artist and he has this really cool studio, and so everything was. I mean, the decor was amazing. It was really, really cool.
That's interesting.
So, was it a lot of people?
It was pretty big.
Did it get wild?
I don't know if that it got wild, but it was a good crowd and everyone was having a lot of fun.
How do you bring yourself to come here after hanging with what sounds to me like the upper crust of society?
Guys,
it is weird.
Listen, I'm telling you and I'm telling the listeners, you guys are the coolest people I know. And you are the most fun people I know. By far.
You know what? She's right.
You already got the gig.
I'd rather hang out with us than some goofy artist who's running around naked with a paintbrush. I'd rather hang out with us too. Well, that sounds like a fun time, Janelle.
What about you guys?
Nothing.
We didn't do anything.
No? There's no Halloween stories? Okay.
Nothing great.
No, nothing crazy.
I was at a wedding.
Just kind of family stuff. That was about it.
Went to Stillwater.
So Halloween is cooked.
Yep.
It's over. And although I think it's wrong, it is wrong. Now everybody goes instantly hog wild for stupid Christmas. No downtime. We've talked about this the last couple of days. No, nothing. Just you jump straight into obnoxious Christmas decorations and bad Christmas movies and on and on. It's wrong.
I dove in head first yesterday. I decorated my house.
Yeah, like how? But you didn't put up the tree, right?
Nope, no tree yet because I get a real one. So, it'll like dry out and start on fire or something if I get one now. But, yep, decorated all the lights and the greenery.
What you're doing is wrong. So with the holidays being forced upon us, Janelle, there's always money to be spent now. Now is when you start. That's it. For some of us. I mean, I'm lucky I'm in a situation where there's nobody that expects anything from me for Christmas, and I expect nothing from them. But for some of us, if the holiday season has suddenly been plopped upon us, now we got to start spending our money. Every dime you work so hard for on Christmas. So on the topic of spending, each of you think, take your time if you have to, what do you spend money on? Because this conversation popped up, and I think we could get involved in it. Nobody here is exactly rolling in dough. As far as I know. Of course, if you want to know how much we make, just ask.
What's a polite question?
Everybody loves that question. That's not inappropriate at all. You just approach someone and ask them how much money they make. As far as I know, no one here is rich. But what do you spend money on as if you are rich? Is there one or two things that you spend money on as if you are rich?
Skin products.
You're going with skin products.
Yeah, because those can get expensive. And so every now and then, if I have some extra money, I'll go and buy like 3 or 4 things, and it's like $200. And I'm like,
It's an interesting answer. Same answer for you, Josh? Skin products?
Yeah, no, hair products.
Hair products?
Maybe it's hair products.
I would say food.
Okay.
Like fast food, restaurants, all that stuff.
That can be very expensive.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I'm trying to piece it together. I am as simple a sumbitch as you'll ever run into. I don't go on vacations. I don't have fancy cars or fancy anything. So I'm trying to rack my brain.
I think you and I are the same category.
Yeah.
Because I'm in the exact same boat as you. I don't really spend money on stuff. Beverages.
I mean, years ago, it probably would have been, my answer would be beer.
I'd say that's what it is now for you as well. I mean,
probably
beer, Gatorades, chew. Yeah, for me, it's like Gatorades and pop and stuff like that.
Chewing tobacco is very expensive.
So are Gatorades all of a sudden.
What's that?
Gatorades have gotten really expensive lately, too, I've seen.
Everything has.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Years ago, my answer would have been beer, but I just don't blast through the beer on a nightly basis like I used to.
I can't believe I was reading an article yesterday about...
I can't believe you were reading an article either.
Yeah.
It's about time.
Waffle again with
It
the
wasn't
bell.
a video.
Just talk. You don't need to waffle.
Like in New York City, they're having Big Mac meals at like $18. I was like, whoa, I'm not eating out ever.
Oh, you're talking about like California, New York, because of they're paying their
insane.
employees more, and so they're charging more. Coffee needed. Jesus, believe it or not, spends money like she's rich on coffee. My wife used to do that. She doesn't anymore. But yeah, I mean, she'd be a daily Starbucks or Dunn Brothers, Caribou, whatever, wherever she'd go.
Why'd she stop? Did she figure out how to do it at home?
Yeah. Well, she just doesn't. Now she just drinks it like plain, at home. But for a while there, she was spending monny on that kind of thing.
That
Janelle,
can add up.
Something you spend money on as if you're rich.
I was trying to think about that. I mean,
Do you have to buy a lot of clothes for? Sorry to interrupt. I was wondering for you if it's not. I mean, this is something for work. You have to buy a lot of clothes.
I do for work. And that's kind of hard, although it's harder when you're in a role where you're on every single day, because I think people pay attention.
They do.
I would say travel, like vacations.
Oh, I didn't know you did that much. I know you're out of town all the
Yeah.
time for work. I didn't know you did it for fun as well.
Yeah, I would say that's probably it.
You like to travel. You'll hit this beach or that big city. You like that. And
Yep.
that's very expensive.
Yep.
Hotels and all your meals and this and that, going out. That's a good answer. I thought of an answer now for myself. Sure, beer is expensive. Chew is expensive. Ball games. But if there's one thing that I think fits best for the question, what do you spend money on as if you're rich? So I'm thinking this is an expenditure that a rich person, it wouldn't bother a rich person, but it should be more concerning for me, and that would be my boat. And specifically, storing the boat. Docking and storing the boat.
Oh, that's a lot.
It is very expensive on Lake Minnetonka to keep your boat, have them winterize it for you, and then have them, get a slip and all that. That's wildly expensive. It's something that I should be more concerned about, but I'm not, because I will never, if I can, I will never join that gangbang at the boat launch. I won't do it. Trailering your boat is a friggin' nightmare, and if I can, I will avoid it at all costs.
That's definitely worth the money.
That will be my answer. I do not want to be in shouting matches with other drunk 40-year-olds and 50-year-olds at the boat launch.
People are texting in reminding you've got 2 Harley-Davidsons now, right? Or is it 3?
Oh, my damn. I suppose maybe that would maybe be the second answer for me is my my electric vehicles.
Arsenal.
I have an electric bicycle, which, as you know, is the same thing as a Harley-Davidson motorcycle. And I also have an electric scooter. Yeah, okay, there you go. I never would have thought of either one of those.
This person says, I have a house cleaner. Come clean the house. I will never give them up. Never.
That'd be nice.
That is a nice luxury.
I always thought of doing that, but I'm afraid that they're gonna come to my house and just be like, "This is ridiculous."
You think they'll be overwhelmed?
Yeah, like the dog. I don't know. I would probably pre-clean for the cleaner to come over so that I wasn't so embarrassed.
Don't be embarrassed. They've probably seen way worse. I thought you were going to say you were afraid that they'd plant a camera under your toilet or something to
that too,
watch you go potty or something.
Steal your drugs.
This is a good answer. I would say so far the number one answer from the Brother and Sisterhood is concerts.
Yeah,
and
that's what I was going to say.
It seems like they're announced constantly, and they're not what it used to. I mean, for $20 you could go see the most popular band in the world when I was growing up, and now obviously you're paying more than that in fees.
Yeah,
probably. So concerts, it's a big one coming in here.
So this article popped up. Here are some random folks' answers on the question, what do you spend money on as if you're rich? And I'm sure there's going to be a few in here where you'd say, oh, God, how could you even consider? Or you're going to say, oh, absolutely, I would need that. Cologne, I like to smell nice, and I think that's important.
It is.
I've only had one bottle of cologne my entire life. I was gifted another one, but I've only owned one where I went out and purchased it.
And then what? You didn't like it, so you were done?
No, I watched $80 seep through the cracks in the basement floor. It was a bottle of Drakkar in high school.
Yeah.
And I knocked it over, and then that was it for me.
I haven't had
I put it on once or twice.
I haven't had a bottle of cologne in many. I wouldn't be able to tell you what they cost.
They are pricey.
I think every bottle of cologne I ever owned was a gift, like Josh was saying. But I do like to. Oh, don't get me started on my Axe body spray.
Yeah, you go for it with Axe.
If that's the same as cologne, then I'm all in because I love to bathe myself in multiple flavors of Axe body spray.
That's true.
Before I go to the gym. Here's somebody who says, I use the F out of paper towels.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I can agree to that one. I just don't care.
I have no idea what paper towels cost. I think later on in the article, somebody answers just something along the lines of grocery shopping, and they say they never check the prices. They just sweep it into their cart. They don't want to deal with, at this other store, I could save 50 cents. I'm the same way with that. I don't know what anything costs.
Groceries have gone up so much, too.
I sweep it into my cart, and I get the hell out of there as quick as possible. So I wouldn't be able to tell you what paper towels cost, but I'll tell you this much. I have a paper towel involved in almost everything that I do.
Well, paper plates. Well, do you
paper plates?
Go through paper plates
yes,
a lot,
I do.
right?
Paper plates, plastic forks, and paper towels. I could not exist.
Plastic forks?
Yes. Why the hell do I want to put a real fork into the mix when I can just use a plastic fork? I just throw it away. F the environment. There's no such thing as the environment.
I'll grab a paper towel for something I'm eating that I don't need it for.
Yeah, almost everything I do, Wapple. I got it. Sometimes I'll have paper towels in my hands. I don't know why I grab them,
Yes.
so I'll put them into my back pocket for something later.
Yeah,
I've seen him.
I'll be eating mac and cheese or something with a fork, and I'm like, why do I have 4 paper towels?
That's so true.
I've seen Nick wipe his face with a paper towel, and he grabs another paper towel and cleans off the first paper towel.
What about name brand makeup? Here's a lady who says, I buy expensive name brand makeup. In my defense, it lasts much longer than drugstore products, and the quality is wonderful.
Now, that's not cheap either.
I definitely agree with that. You have to get the good stuff, or else, and then it makes your skin all bad if you get the bad stuff.
Is that what happens?
Yeah, you'll break out.
Well, my wife does. I don't know what she spends on makeup and stuff. It seems like there's a lot of it. She needs it. She does she gets her lashes done and nails done and stuff, and that's expensive.
Yeah. It's crazy. My girlfriend will come out of Ulta or Sephora or something with a really small bag, and I'll be like, "How much was that?" "Oh, $150."
It seems like,
dude, that's so true. I wish they would give me a bigger bag so I would feel better about it.
I've noticed that when you go to a place like that or a department store, the smaller the bag, the more expensive the purchase. It seems.
Care 11's Janelle Klein.
This is the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
There you go. Everybody has their vices when it comes to spending. I think that's the right term. Would it be, Josh? Vices?
Yeah, it could be.
That's what we've been talking about here the last few minutes on the Half-Assed Morning Show. Spending. What do you spend money on as if you're a rich person? And, of course, the easy answers are beer and tobacco and weed and things like that. But we're going for maybe a little more obscure item or items that you spend more money than you should on. Our listeners have texted in. See what you think about some of this. What do you spend money on as if you're rich? Subscriptions. Now, do they mean like television channels?
Probably.
Yeah. I'm assuming that's the one from RKO Jesus. Excuse me. Yeah, the subscriptions. I didn't consider that. Streaming services, software, things like that.
You guys have explained this to me before. Some of you are signed up for all these different channels. I couldn't name one of them, but if you said them out loud, I'd recognize them. So, what are some of you spending a month to be able to watch all these wacky series and whatnot?
Probably about 100.
Oh, that's it?
Maybe a little bit more.
I'm looking at mine. For absolutely everything, it's $220 a month.
That's an effing crazy deal.
But look at this. And a lot of it's for work. Here's all of them.
What the hell? There's like 30 of them.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Well, and then another thing, Josh, you probably still have cable, too. So then you're paying for cable and then all these subscription services, too.
Is that how it works?
Are you supposed to pay for cable?
It's been running a line from the neighbor's house.
There's one distinct line that goes from the Buckinghams next door to me.
So in the end, it's more like $500-600 a month if you add. I don't know. That's crazy. I'm perfectly content watching Cheers reruns.
Another one I thought of for myself again, chapstick.
Chapstick.
I constantly buy chapstick.
Because you're losing it?
I'm always washing it, losing it. I've never gone through a full tube of chapstick.
I've never purchased one.
Okay, but what does a tube of chapstick cost?
I mean, if you get the good stuff, it's $15.
Yeah.
Are
if
you
get some-
serious?
If you get some Burt's Bees type stuff, you're
it's
paying for that.
Yeah, it's like $12, $13 for like.
Well, what's the matter with your mouth?
I just always dry my lips
Yuck.
constantly.
I could kiss that away for you.
Ooh. Some other interesting gimmicks that folks are spending money on like they're rich. One listener says supplements like protein powder and vitamins.
Not to keep bringing up my wife, but that's another one. I don't even know what we spend on that, but she has all that. I mean, she's a necromancer. She doesn't make food. She makes potions and stuff that she eats. There's so much of that kind of stuff.
Some of these are really fun habits, of course, or fun things that you spend money on. A listener spends a lot of money on his demolition derby vehicles. That sounds like
cool.
fun. RC car things. I don't know the words behind.
Oh, I love people that have like those tricked out ones.
Those gas ones are so expensive.
Those are cool, man.
Mm-hmm.
Nice watches. As far as items you spend money on as if you're rich, nice watches. I didn't think that was a thing anymore.
Well, smartwatches, certainly you see those, but yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't know about the nicer ones that are like, the traditional watch.
Just the average person, I didn't think we really paid attention to watches anymore.
Oh, I see smartwatches all the time.
Yeah.
Golf, hunting, and fishing. $400 a month on Magic the Gathering cards.
Holy cow! He must be they must be one of those people that trades them and stuff.
Tattoos.
Tools. A lot of people texting in on tools for their jobs.
Oh, sure. That's a great answer.
Foundry Rat Jesus had a funny text. New truck, $65,000.
Yeah.
Lift kit, $1,500. Wheels and tires, $4,000. Gross annual salary, $48,000. The look on my parents' face when I say I'm broke, priceless.
That is effing perfect. Slot machines. They're spending all their money on the slot machines or porn, or this one grabbed me, house plants.
That's adorable.
From the time I was a kid, I don't get house plants. Why are we growing plants in our? I've never understood that. There's dirt and there's a plant in the house. Why is that? Plants are outside the house. I don't follow that routine.
My girlfriend does. Her living room is like a jungle.
Is she any good at keeping them alive?
Yeah, she's very good at it.
Or is that why she has so many?
No, she's good at it.
My photography business, says Hobby Photography Jesus. Groceries. Yeah, those are out of control right now, too. Groceries. Tree Master Jesus said, gotta say, saving money by wearing the same clothes for years allows me to buy tickets to ball games and concerts. He said he also spends buttloads on energy drinks and snacks.
Snacks are important.
Gotta have your snacks.
What about for the ladies here, Janelle and Ashley? I was reading one of our listeners said she's far from rich, but she's got to go get her hairdo done by a professional. You see what I'm saying? Go the fancy route with the hairdo. It makes them feel good. You feel prettier, even though it's very... You guys, where do you get your hairs, dude?
We were just talking about this.
You were?
Yeah.
Do you spend a lot of money on the hairdo?
Yep.
What is it? What is a haircut now? Like just a typical haircut for a woman?
I don't know. I get my hair highlighted and cut at the same time, and it's about $160.
And then obviously you tip on top of that?
Yeah, tip on top.
It's like an $80 haircut. Whoa.
Hey, they know what
Dana,
they're doing, though.
You just spent a bunch of money to grow hair. Why would you do that? I haven't paid for a haircut in 24 years.
Yeah, I paid money to start paying more money for haircuts now.
Not a smart call on
What
your
about you, Janelle? How much money do you pay for just like a regular haircut?
It varies depending on where you go, but yeah, all of that for sure.
160, 80, $200 type neighborhood?
Yeah.
F me.
I'll tell you what, Ashley and Janelle, I'll start doing it for 20.
It is a little different because don't men like get their hair cut like once a month? For women, it's like once every 3 months or so.
Mine was like once every 4 months.
Oh, okay.
How about
Dana,
this?
to go back to what you said, Dana, it seems like you'll do almost anything for $20.
Yeah.
That's the rumor.
I offered to hold on to some people's chastity keys for them earlier in the show. So, yeah, I'm do about anything.
Here's a person that'll spend $2,000 a month on sports cards. I wonder if they look at that as a business, though.
Oh,
maybe they resell them.
You get the Brian Trottier rookie card, and then you wait until he's dead, and you sell it for $17 million. Josh, here's something that kind of made me think of you as far as something you spend money on as if you're rich, even though you're not. I know you hate parking.
Yeah.
You go downtown, you go to a busy area. So how about valet? This individual says, I valet park every chance I get. I can't afford it, but I hate trying to find parking. I hate parking lots. I hate trying to get out of parking ramps. A valet is worth it to me.
That's something I've definitely considered.
Yeah.
I'd feel like, well, that's for the rich, and maybe normal people don't do that. So I haven't had much experience there. Like, I've stayed at a hotel where it was free. I mean, you tip the person,
Yep.
but just because I think this was Chicago and they had like a super tiny lot, so they wanted somebody to park your car for you. But that'd be tempting.
Valet parking is wonderful.
I always thought you had to have a nice car to do it.
No.
I was
Yeah,
always
right.
like, no, I'm not bringing my piece of crap through that.
Wapple,
I feel you, Wapple.
I once had a fancy schmancy guy park my 1977 Gremlin, and this was in 1999 or something like that. I had a beaten up old Gremlin, and the guy, that's his job. Valet parking is wonderful. I just so rarely go anywheres where it's an option, but I had it, a couple, 3 months ago. I was at a restaurant downtown, and they valet parked, and it's just the sweetest deal in the world. What do you think about this slogan before we go? I don't buy crappy tires, shoes, or mattresses. My advice is don't cheap out on things that separate you from the ground.
That's a good line.
That is a good one.
Janelle, we got to go.
Okay.
But we love that you stopped by.
I loved being here.
Very nice to
Can
see
I come
you.
back?
Of course.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Anytime.
Okay, good.
We don't have to do this once a week thing. Doesn't have to be a thing. You can swing by anytime.
Okay.
And don't forget to tip the valet on your way
Yes,
out.
Yeah.
exactly.
So you need to be. You can tap them too if you want to. Maybe that's the tip. Tap them for the tip.
Tap them for the tip.
Sending condolences to the sweet dog Bear. Went to doggy heaven on Tuesday. We were very sorry to hear that. We lost a member of the puppyhood this week. Hope the family's hanging in there. And hope the day turns around for apologetic Jesus, who slept right through his alarms this morning and is late for work. Texas Carpenter Jesus and Bitch, I'm from Texas Jesus text in a shout out to a new listener in the Brotherhood, Daddy Bank Hours, Isaiah Jesus. Thanks for listening to the show. Happy birthday to Avery, turning the big 07 from his brothers Riker and Jace and Dad, Mugsling and Jesus. Happy 15th to number 4 of 6 son Rowan from Mom and Dad, retired Air Force Jesus. Happy birthday to Big J, who missed his earlier birthday shout out. I guess he was grabbing a breakfast burrito. He's forgiven. Happy birthday from Magnut Jesus. Happy birthday to Natural Light Jesus. And now on the Luther Kia of Bloomington text line, text the word uniform. Uniform to 651-989-9393. That's your shot to win tickets to Iron Maiden Tuesday, October 22nd, 2024 at the X, furnished by Live Nation. Tickets do go on sale tomorrow at 10 a.m. Good luck.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Take advantage of Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's HVAC Black Friday specials and save up to $1,500 on a furnace and AC combo or $1,000 on a new boiler. Check out the hottest deals in town all through November at standardheating.com.